running all in and out the building. What the hell is going on?
Hey, me and RT6 in the building. Come through.
What up, Lo?
Hey, what's good? What's good? Raider Nation, shout out to everybody in the YouTube universe. We got something a little special today. You know what I'm saying? I got my I want to say my favorite brother, but I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But I got much love for this brother. RT6 is in the building. So shout out to everybody and definitely say some shout outs to my brother RT6.
What's up, Twuan? Thanks for having me on. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the congregation. How's everyone doing today?
Yes, sir, man. Hey, I talked to you behind the scenes, you know, and I was like, man, I got to get you on the show, man. I got too much love for you, man, and I'm glad that you here. We definitely gonna talk about, you know, the best team in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And you know who the best team in the NFL is.
Damn right, the Raiders.
Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody that's going to be flowing in and getting in.
What's up?
It's a little different today, and I'll say this because I normally do the 2 for 1 Nation podcast at this time, okay? And let me clarify that because I don't want nobody to think that me and Eric got beef or anything like that. The way the schedule was set up, it wasn't going to match up. So this week, there won't be a 2 for 1 Nation. Well, I don't know. Well, today, there won't be no 2 for 1 Nation podcast with me and Eric. But I think we'll be resuming next week. Next week, I think. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. That's what he said. We'll resume next week. So just because of schedule, the 2 for 1 Nation podcast ain't gonna be this week. But hey, we still got a whole lot of Raider, you know what I'm saying, information, a lot of Raider football that's came out. The combine has came and passed. And there's some things in regards to the combine, and I talked about it, in my last live about how the combine. There's some positive things in regards to the way that the combine is stacking these guys. RT6, you have anything about the combine, or you want to say something in regards to?
I mean, it was pretty interesting about the combine, all the rumors and stuff that's coming out. But just to remind everyone, they are just rumors and stuff that we're hearing. It's not actual stuff that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Just because you hear this rumor or that rumor doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. It's just rumors, and there's nothing really to talk about. And people are just throwing shit out in the air. You know what I mean? But that's the only little thing I hate about this time of time, to be honest with you, because people just come up with the most stupid, random fucking trades, or this player's going here because of this and that. I'm just over it. I'm just tired of hearing that we're going to get rid of Max Crosby, or we should trade the arm and the leg and the whole draft for Bo Nix, or we need to get rid of Josh Jacobs and let Zamir Run be the running back number one. I'm like, I don't know where this is all coming from, but you know what I mean? When it comes to the combine, though, I'm just hearing little interesting things that when it comes to the Raiders, the most interesting thing I heard was from AP that supposedly he said he wants to get an impact defensive tackle in here. So hopefully that is true, and that he's going to bring in 2 quarterbacks in here. So that means pretty much Brian Hoyer's going to be out of here too. So it's just going to be AOC and 2 new quarterbacks in here next season. So it's going to be interesting to see which quarterbacks they're going to be, though.
Absolutely. And that's, I've said it actually a couple of lives, Pat, if you guys watch it, I talked about, this is going to be the time where the writers and the people that are getting paid to produce, getting paid to produce content for ESPN and all these other sports avenues, they're reaching for stuff. They're throwing names out there, and they're saying, there's a possibility that Tom Brady is going to come out of retirement and become the quarterback for the Raiders, and Aaron Rodgers is going to take $5 million to be a part of the Raiders. Like it's stuff like that's blown, way out of proportion, and we have to, for those, us fans, we have to, kind of put our little thinking caps on. Does it fit for the system, the play? Well, obviously, let's say it like this: is the player that they're asking, is that player actually a fit for this team?
Yeah.
And a fit in regards to scheme, in regards to how they come over here. Like, anybody can get we can get Aaron Rodgers if we wanted Aaron Rodgers, but you know what it would take for us to get Aaron Rodgers? It would take us 5 first-round picks and $100 million.
Yeah.
Does that, and I'm using these, and I'm not saying that's exactly the dollar amount, but I'm just saying in a sense, does that actually benefit the Raiders? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we you have to use your senses and don't fall for all of this, all this craziness. Now, you talked about AP and the 2 quarterback selection. What are your thoughts in regards to the combine and the quarterbacks that you saw at the combine?
I mean, pretty much I like to call it the underwear Olympics for the quarterbacks, because most of them, the top quarterbacks didn't throw, but the quarterbacks that did, participate, looked pretty good. Especially the quarterback from Washington. I'm drawing the blank right now. If you help me out,
Penix.
Yeah, Penix, he looked amazing. He has one of the nicest spirals I've seen in a long time. He looked amazing. So did McCarthy. The one that really looked a little and that some people are over here trying to say the Raiders need to trade 3 first-round picks for is Bo Nix. He looked horrible, in my opinion. I do not want nothing of Bo Nix in the Raiders uniform, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know who are these people watching his film and stuff. Clearly, if you watch the college football playoffs, once they shut down all the short passes and made him throw beyond 15 yards, he throws some more the most inaccurate balls I ever seen in my life. And that's being honest. And it just sucks because you see his stats that he threw fucking 56 touchdowns and only like 6 interceptions. But you get ready to the nitty and gritty of it, it was only bubble screens. It was short little 5-yard passes that the receivers took it to the house and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, that's one quarterback that I don't want us to draft, because at the end of the day, all I've been hearing from him this whole offseason, even from the college all-star game, whatever the fuck he was at, that he was one of the worst quarterbacks there. He had a lot of incomplete balls. He didn't have that good of arm strength. And I understand what some Raider content creators are saying, that we had to go trade for this fool, when all we literally heard is total opposite of he's not a franchise quarterback. But I have no idea, Tony. Just a little frustrating and stuff. And then, you know what I mean? The other quarterback that really did caught my eye, but I don't want the Raiders draft at all, was Milton, that quarterback from Tennessee or whatever, with that cannon arm and stuff that can throw it like Jamarcus Russell. But what good is it to have that arm if you're not even accurate? And then the thing is, too, I've been doing some research on him. They're saying that he might have to move to tight end because he's so inaccurate as a quarterback. So I don't know. It's just a lot of interesting things. But I just wish Jalen Daniels and Caleb would have been throwing the ball out there, but we don't get to see that until their pro day. But besides that, that's all I really noticed from the quarterbacks. What about each one?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way in regards to Bo Nix. Bo Nix definitely did not. How can I say it? When I say make his money, I'm talking about drive his stock high. I don't think he made money. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he made money at the combine, and I think he is where he's at. I think where people kind of projected him before going to the combine. I think that's where he's end up going to be. I think where it's going to land, I can see him being the 6th quarterback coming out the draft. You know what I'm saying? And the 6th, the ones that I think that are ahead of him are JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, and then of course you have your top 3, Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Daniels. So I think he could be the 6th coming out. And in regards to Milton, I think Milton, again, he's going to have to sit. Yeah. I think there's something there, but he's going to have to, sit with a coach, a quarterback's coach or offensive coordinator or somebody in the next level to kind of help him with that, abilities, if he's going to be a quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying he's going to be a starting quarterback, but can he be a viable backup after learning from, learning from somebody in the NFL? I think so. You know what I'm saying? And I think, to be honest with you, my personal opinion, I think everybody out of the top 3, they need to sit a year. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm saying that in regards to, JJ McCarthy, you know what I'm saying, Michael Penix, and again, like you said, Bo Nix. I think all of those guys need to have that situation like a Jordan Love, or situation like a Pat Mahomes, or even Aaron Rodgers, that sat behind somebody and had kind of like that red shirt year before they were, trotted out there. I think even, as much as we talk about AOC, I think it was beneficial for AOC, yes, to get the reps, but I think even drafting AOC, when we did draft AOC, I think they had intended for AOC to kind of red shirt the first year, not even, have him see the field, you know what I'm saying, the first year, and let him grow and get, what he needs, behind the scenes. But we were in a situation where, and I've said it, and I know you've heard me say it, Aiden O'Connell was the best option and also was the only option at quarterback for us. And again, here we are again, you know what I'm saying, right now in our situation, Aiden O'Connell is the best option and the only option. But the benefit is that we have, free agency coming up, but also we have the draft coming up.
Yeah, and the thing is too, I don't think AOC is that bad as the nation thinks and shit. You know what I mean? The thing is, we haven't seen enough of the kids to say that he's not a franchise quarterback, or he is yet. You know what I mean? Look at the last 4 games of the season. He put up fucking 8 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. You know what I mean? He was the second best rookie quarterback behind CJ Stroud. For somebody that wasn't supposed to start this year, that got fired the head coach, offensive coordinator, how to learn a new system on the fly, and still produce at the level he did, we have to put more respect on his name. You know what I mean? I just think a lot of Raider Nation just saying automatically, okay, he didn't go in there year 1 and stop and lead us to the playoffs. He's fucking garbage. You know what I mean? I understand we didn't score no points against the Minnesota game, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Stuff like that happens in the league. You know what I mean? What people do need to realize, they do play the other team, you know what I mean, across the field that play us. You know what I mean? They're trying their hardest and the best too and shit. But at the end of the day, I think AOC is the best quarterback, and it's his job to lose. So whatever quarterback we draft or whatever quarterback we bring in free agency, AOC still has a leg up, and he has the locker room behind him already and shit, because the locker room already seen this kid produce and lead him to victories, and that's something these two quarterbacks that are coming in haven't done yet.
I completely agree with you. I'm still on the Aiden O'Connell bus. You know what I'm saying? I believe in Aiden O'Connell, and I said it. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying in regards to Aiden O'Connell, you know, when we picked him up, because a lot of people were like, he's not a starter. He's not a starter. Well, guess what? He possibly can be our starter, but he also can be a really good backup. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have, you know, in Aiden O'Connell. And I say it, and I still believe it, you know, that if we do get a starter in here, whether it's a free agent or hey, you know, the draftee beats out Aiden O'Connell, I'm not going to be sweating bullets if that starting quarterback goes down and Aiden O'Connell goes out there as our backup, as our backup quarterback. You know what I'm saying? We've had so many, you know what I'm saying? We can go, we talk so bad about our starting quarterbacks that it's even worse when it comes to our backup quarterback. So we've all sweated bullets when our starting quarterback went down and that backup came in. Everybody was like most people were like, hey, let's just go ahead and go home. You know what I'm saying? When our backup quarterback went in. And with Aiden O'Connell, I believe in Aiden O'Connell so much that if he falls to being our backup, we ain't got nothing to worry about. And we might have one of the best backups going into the NFL. So hopefully we can, you know, he knows that it's going to be a competition with whoever comes in, and I think that's how it should be. But I also am glad that, you know, with that competition, our quarterback room is actually going to get filled out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's going to actually take my personal thoughts. I think it's going to take at least 2 years to completely fill out our quarterback room to where we got some guys in there. And to be honest with you, I think it might be a situation where we have to get a free agent this year, but next year it might be a whole bunch of guys under rookie contracts battling it out for that starting job. What do you think?
I wouldn't mind seeing that, Twuan, because at the end of the day, we do need a veteran in here. And for example, say if we miss out on Kirk Cousins and then Justin Fields leaves to another team and shit, you know what I mean? What are the Raiders going to do at that point when it comes to the free agent quarterback class? You know what I mean? The only two names that I wouldn't mind seeing the Raiders brought in here as backups is Garner Minshew. I would love to see Garner Minshew. I love for Garner Minshew. I'm not saying he's going to be the best quarterback in the world, but I wouldn't mind him having him in this quarterback room, teaching the rookie, whoever we do draft. Him and AOC would look amazing. Or even true, I know this is not a name that a lot of Raiders fans are gonna like because he used to play for the Broncos back in the days. It's not the one you're thinking about, but Drew Luck. I always had love for Drew Luck. You know what I mean? He has a strong arm. I just think where he is, I think the Broncos just pretty much broke his confidence and they just wasted him. And now when he's over there in Seattle, he looked pretty decent. Geno Smith's backup when he did start, but I wouldn't mind seeing either of those two quarterbacks in here as our backup. But I really want to get rid of Brian Hoyer. I seen the interview with Johnny Mansell. But he said that he had Brian Hoyer as one of his quarterbacks in his room, and that he was trying to ask questions about it, and Brian Hoyer was being a dick towards him, saying, "Johnny, again about that again? Seriously? Well, how many times are we gonna go over it?" Like, if he's really doing that shit to Johnny Manziel, I would just imagine what he was doing to AOC and shit in that QB room. To be honest with you, and just to give more props for AOC to having to deal with that dumbass motherfucker and still be able to produce what he did, bro, is pretty amazing. But I literally want to get rid of Brian Hoyer right now, especially after I heard Johnny Mansell say that about Brian Hoyer. Like, why is he even still here, bro? I understand we're not going to save no money or anything, but if he's that toxic of a player like that, I want him out of here. Just to think that this is the backup quarterback that fucking the greatest offensive genius in mankind history Josh McDaniels brought in to be the backup quarterback fucking is ridiculous to me. Look at the contract he gave Jimmy Garoppolo as well. If it wasn't for Jimmy taking that pill, whatever that wasn't unsubscribed, we'll be on the kill hook for another $12 million and shit. But thanks for Jimmy for doing that and looking out for that. But at the end of the day, those are two quarterbacks that I do want to see in here. What about you, Twuan?
Yeah, you know what I just before I tell you my thoughts, I want to get on the Hoyer bus. Let me get on the Hoyer bus just for a little bit.
Oh, aboard the Hoyer bus. Go ahead, Twuan. Jump on board.
Hey, man, I've been saying, man, dude, how many times I gotta tell y'all, Hoyer never should have been on this team. And Johnny Manziel, and like you said, I seen that podcast with Johnny Manziel, and here we were, a lot of us Raiders, here we were talking about, oh, Brian Hoyer is going to come in here and he's going to be a mentor and he's going to teach our quarterback how to run this offense, and that obviously that wasn't was going to happen, okay? Because these quarterbacks their personality is their personality. They ain't gonna have no change of heart unless it comes down to money. And I'll explain that when I talk about who I want at quarterback, because some of y'all ain't gonna like that. But there's a reason why I'm saying there's a possibility. Anyway, but Brian Hoyer should never been on this team, and the way he came out and even the way that he played was not even beneficial to what we have on this team. And I can't believe that we spent all this time thinking that Brian Hoyer was going to be some type of option for us. Like that is completely ridiculous to me that Brian Hoyer still is hanging around and acting like he could possibly still be a Raider. It drives me crazy. It really does drive me crazy. Anytime we talk about Hoyer and like it, you could tell. And that's why, you know, it's like you got to read between the lines. When Hoyer did his press conference, you could tell how arrogant, you know what I'm saying, he is as a player. And that ain't going to help. Anytime you the third, possibly fourth string quarterback, your behind need to be humble. And that wasn't Brian Hoyer at all.
Especially him, for somebody that's never done anything in the league. He's maybe won a couple of games, but he has never won or lead. He's never been a starting quarterback for a whole team for a whole season. You know what I mean? He has more interceptions than career touchdowns. He ain't nobody to be fucking talking or saying anything. He should be trying to mentor these young quarterbacks and shit. You know what I mean? Pass out the knowledge that he has to other, but yet he's being a cocky son of a bitch like he's Tom Brady or something. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. And it just makes you think, all the Patriots, former Patriots that Josh McDaniels brought in, how many of them actually worked out for us? Just think about it. How many of these former Patriots actually worked out for us that he brought in? Think about it. The only one I can think is fucking the wide receiver and shit. But besides that, how many of them, you know what I mean, have they worked out for us? None of them really. It just sucks. Look at Chandler Jones. Look at Jimmy Garoppolo. Look at Brian Hoyer and shit. Look at all of them and shit. None of them have done shit.
I'll give two. I'll give two. And the other one is kind of like you have Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
And then you also had the fullback. But the reason why I say the fullback's kind of iffy is because we didn't really use him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when we did use him, he kind of did his job. But outside of that, yeah, I agree with you. Like they were not being used. Hey, you guys, shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys click the like button. Why?
You fucking cold.
Let me look in the camera, do it. Hey, you guys go ahead and hit them likes. Why? Because I like you. All right, you clip that one right.
Yeah, make sure you hit the like button. If you have not, you know what I'm saying? If you have not subscribe. If you like the Raiders, subscribe. If you can hear my voice, go ahead and subscribe. All right. Hey, let me tell you guys, because Auntie Six asked me what did I think about the quarterback. This is what I don't completely agree with, but it is something that actually I think it kind of makes sense.
All right, let me hear it, Twuan. Let me hear it.
I might lose some watchers, but hey, I'm gonna put it out there. Okay. Because we know that right now with Aiden O'Connell, he's pretty much, we're already saying we don't want Hoyer. We just talked about that, and we know that Jimmy G's on his way out. We already know those are what's going to happen, right? So that only leaves Aiden O'Connell, and then there's a guy named Anthony Brown, which is really not much to me. Okay, so at quarterback, and according to what AP was saying, he wants 2 quarterbacks, right? So I think what they're going to do is they're going to get one in free agency, and then also address quarterback in the draft.
Okay.
Because I don't see us drafting 2 quarterbacks. I think I don't see why they would lose. You know, I'm not going to say lose, but why are they going to, invest 2 picks on a quarterback, right? We already know that Jaden McDaniels, not Jaden McDaniels, but Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and Caleb, to go get them is way too high. So what are the options there if we stay put in the draft, right? I think the best option draft-wise, and I'm going to tell you what the free agent one is, and it's going to lead into, they're both going to tie in.
Okay.
I think we should go get Penix. And I think we should go get Penix with the 2nd round pick with a possible move up in the 1st. Okay? And I'm saying that because I think in the 1st round for number 13, I think we should get our tackle. I think we should get either J.C. Latham or my favorite, the one that I really, really want is Fuaga. Okay? So getting Fuaga at 13, then with our 2nd round pick, moving up into the late 1st round and getting Michael Penix. I'm not saying Michael Penix is worth a 1st round, but what you're doing with that 1st round pick, because he's a 1st round pick, is you can redshirt him that 1st year because you have the 5th year option. So instead of him for 4 years, you have him for that extra year where you can have him sit under whoever the starter is. Allow, like I said, everybody from JJ, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, in reality, they all need to sit a year, right? To get them up to NFL standards where they can actually start, right? Yeah. So you do that. So you move up in the 5th to go. You move up in the 1st to get Michael Penix, and who you have starting is also a left-handed quarterback, and that left-handed quarterback is Russell Wilson. Okay, Russell Wilson is you can get him off you can get him on cheap labor because he's going to be on a veteran minimum. You know what I'm saying? You can sign him for a veteran minimum, have him play that 1 year. He knows that he has to, and hear me out on this. He's going to have to prove that he can be a starting quarterback in this league. Not only just as a player, but also his personality. Okay. Some people are mad because he had the issue of, he wanted a office and all the extra things that he wanted being a starting quarterback. Well, that ain't going to happen if he came over here with AP. AP ain't going to play that. You know what I'm saying? And also, Russell Wilson knows he has to work out that narrative that that obviously gave people a bad taste. So he's going to be proving himself not just on the field, but the things that he does off the field. And having that left-handed quarterback start allows for our team to gel, because there is, ladies and gentlemen, those that don't follow football or whatever, or not really in depth with it, there's a difference and a shift that changes when you have a left-handed quarterback play, then have a right-handed quarterback play. The team has to figure all that out. So to have a left-handed quarterback start, have Penix sit for that year, have him mature in that year, so in the second year, Michael Penix be ready to start for us, and the team already knows how to run and how to block and how to, handle himself with a left-handed quarterback, then we'll be set.
Yeah.
So as much as I don't really necessarily like that decision or that move, that move actually makes sense, because if you're paying Russell Wilson, a veteran quarterback, a veteran minimum, instead of paying him $20 million a year or $40 million a year, which is actually that $40 million that everybody's crying about is actually really the cap, the you know what I'm saying, the threshold for a starting quarterback. We're saving money. We're saving money by having a starting quarterback, allowing Michael Penix, our possible future, to redshirt, just like Jordan Love, just like all these other great quarterbacks that have sat at least a year and played, like I talked about, the Mahomes, and you can keep going down the list. So that's what I kind of foresee. I know that, I know Russell Wilson has had connections with the Steelers and all of that, but I think we have better stuff over here than over there with the Steelers. So I wouldn't be mad at bringing Russell Wilson in for a prove-it year. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he got to be here 5 years or anything. You can, you know what I'm saying, use him for that 1 year, you know what I'm saying, and then ship him off to wherever he, whatever team wants him, or, you know what I'm saying, if you want to sign him to a contract and then see if we can get something out of him, get some value out of him because he's played well or whatever the situation may be. I think that could work. You know what I'm saying? And then also, we've talked about, Devontae Adams, right? And that contract. You're saving money by using Russell Wilson with his veteran minimum, you know what I'm saying? And then having a rookie quarterback get drafted. Then when you get into the second year, you could draft another quarterback, and then you're not spending money at all, because you really got pretty much every quarterback that's in your room is a rookie.
No, that totally makes sense, Twuan, and I completely agree with you. But the only two things I'm gonna bring up is Penix injury history and his 2 ACLs. Those things really scare the shit out of me, especially too after us drafting the injured Tyreek Wilson. I want our first round pick to be injury concern free, and if we draft him in even in the late first, that's the only thing is. And the thing is with Russell Wilson, I like the player, I like everything. It's just the off the field stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just the thing that really even because at work I have a buddy that's a Broncos fan and shit, and he's like a real Broncos fan. And the thing is, he's saying that that nobody really went up to bat for him to try to stay. Nobody on the team, you know what I mean? That he had his whole posse all the time. That if you wanted to get a hold of him, that you have to get through his publicist, and then he'll call you in a day or two, and then he'll call you from a blocked number because he don't want you to have his number and shit. You know what I mean? And then if you weren't nobody on the special on the team, he never recognized you and shit. And if he's able to put all that shit to rest and just come in here, be one of the other guys, and just play football, I'm totally agree with that. Just because we're gonna shove it to the Broncos and they're gonna have to pay all that other money, and we're just gonna pay him for the minimum, which lets us pay more money on the offensive line or wherever else we need it. So that's the only thing I do agree with you, Twuan, that I would like us to do, because that makes a lot of sense. And like you said, next season we can just draft another quarterback, and then the whole quarterback room is going to be full of rookie contracts. And that's fucking amazing because you're just saving all that money and spread it around other players. And by then, you should know if AOC's going to be a backup quarterback. If not, he's going to be the future. And by then, you can extend them. If not, you can see what you have in the Penix or whatever, you know. So that would be a real smart move. And then I wouldn't mind if we did that move too. But it's just Russell Wilson, man. I understand that. A lot of content creators said that, oh, he won the Walter Payton Man of the Award, or he's not a bad guy. This and that. I'm not saying he's a bad guy off the field, but I don't want nobody toxic or anybody to bring in to fuck up what we have in this locker room. You know what I mean? Because what we have right now is the best team in the best direction we had. And we're going since, you know, the early 2000s when we had Rich Gannon and them boys. You know what I mean? I feel we're only a couple players away from this team being the perennial playoff contender. And after that, once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. You can just get hot at the right moment and you make it all the way to the Super Bowl and you can win it. So, and you know what I mean? This is the most excited I've been for a team, and we just need to get the right place at quarterback. Even if Russell Wilson's in here for 1 year, I wouldn't mind that because he can still play quarterback. He has similar numbers to Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? If you put his numbers up to Patrick Mahomes, and the thing is, the Broncos just did him dirty because they don't want to pay him, just like the Raiders did with Derek Carr. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? That we just do it, put out the blueprint for every NFL team to do it from now on. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I would just literally do it if he was to change his ways. But that's something for us not to decide, and it's up for Wilson and everybody else in this organization to actually bring him in here.
Yeah, and I agree with what I agree with it, man. Like that's why I said I don't, I kind of in regards to it, but it makes sense. Like if Russell Wilson wants to change the narrative of the things, like you said, the bad taste that everybody kind of has on him, this is where you would be able to change that. You know what I'm saying? And we have to have us in Raider Nation. Shout out to everybody in here today. I'll get you guys as soon as I'm done with this. We have to have trust in AP and his intensity and the way that he says that he wants to run this team and how he wants to run this team. And I know that if so say that all of a sudden Russell Wilson is a Raider, you already know that AP's already had that conversation with him. Like, hey, we ain't gonna deal with your BS over here. You know what I'm saying? Like that's straight up. And I feel like Coach AP is not just like he got in. You know what I'm saying? Just like he got in Peter's face. If he needs to get in Russell Wilson's face because he's over there, you know what I'm saying, or, behind the scenes or whatever the situation is, AP will walk up to Russell Wilson and be like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And also, in regards to the quarterback situation, I think that as much as we would love to just draft that quarterback one time and that's our quarterback for 10 to 15 years or whatever the situation may be, that's not how, you know what I'm saying, a lot of teams end up getting their quarterback. What they do is they draft a quarterback 1 year. That okay, let's see what happens. Let's draft another quarterback next year. and whoever is the best quarterback wins. And that's what AP, Coach AP is saying. No matter who's coming in, it's going to be a competition. So whether we got Aiden O'Connell here, Russell Wilson, and then Michael Penix, and then we say, okay, next year, okay, we drafting quarterback again. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to be a competition. Aiden O'Connell may not be the starter this year, but Aiden O'Connell might be the starter next year. You know what I'm saying? If he beats people out in camp, you know what I'm saying? So I like that, I like the fact that AP saying competition is going to be across the board for everything. And I think we just have to be okay with bringing in guys so that there is a competition in all these rooms. So, yeah, I'm with you, Auntie, in regards to the side eye emoji on Russell Wilson. But like I said, if he can get past that, I think it actually makes sense, and going beyond the beyond the hatred for because some people just hate Russell Wilson just to hate Russell Wilson, but when you start looking at the stats, and when you actually really look at what was going on over there at Denver, yeah, you can blame some of that on Russell, but not everything. Not everything over there was on Russell. And like you said, one of the big factors that came into play, as to why, Russell Wilson is in the situation that he's in, was because of the money. You know what I'm saying? The money, was just the price was way too high. So they found a way to cut it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me give the roll call. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna do it real shoddy, real quick. Raider Paul, good to see you. Milka Beezy, good to see you. SoCal Sal is in the building. Good to see y'all. Raider Paul was the first one on the roll today. Okay. Raider 7528. Good to see you. Cool Kev, $2. Hey, I'm gonna read your guys' comments, but I'm gonna get all the guys that are in here. You know what I'm saying? Milka Beezy, we already shot a Jew out. Alfredo, the boss with the sauce, is in the building.
Alfredo, what's up, brother?
Yes, sir. El Capitan, good to see you, Raphael. Good to see you, man. Daniel Berry Sports, good to see you. Hope all is well. Brian Rodriguez, hope all is well. Blessings to you, my guy. Thanks for coming in. Hey, boo. Good to see you.
What's up, MG?
He said get Nate Wiggins at Clemson. Okay. Yeah. Joel Lee, good to see you, my guy. Blessings to you. Mark Carbone, good to see you. Blessings to you today. Hope all is well with you guys. Raider Romeo, good to see you, my guy. Cool Kev is in there. Hope you ain't being dry, Cool Kev. I see all these bunch of comments, dog. Carbone, I see you. Trying to make sure I got everybody. I tapped on it. There we go. J8 Hawk Raider. Good to see you. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Why? Because I like you. Okay?
What's up, Gravy? How you doing, brother?
Gravy is in the building. Good to see you, Gravy. Blessings to you today. Yes, sir. So did you have anything on what I said, or we good?
Nah, we good, Twuan. You know what I mean? I got a question for you, Twuan. Just a little hypothetical. Out of the two names I'm gonna throw out you, and
Okay.
if they're available to play quarterback or even to come in as a backup, who would you want? Okay, I'm gonna throw two names. I know they're not popular or whatever, but I just want to know your opinion because one of my Raider homies told me this at lunch, and it got me thinking. You know what I mean? Because both of these players were talented coming out the draft. They were just in bad situations with no talent. So this is the two names I'm gonna throw at you. Okay, Mac Jones or Zach Wilson. If you had to come one as a backup or just even to start, AOC and now rookie quarterback. Which one of those two would you take?
I'm leaning more towards Zach.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think Zach has a little more mobility to him. And I'm just leaning more towards mobility at this point.
For me personally, I just seen Mac Jones, even though it was his rookie year, be more successful in the league than I had seen Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And I totally think after what happened to him with Aaron Rodgers situation and shit, and then the wide receiver from the Jets saying there was no offensive game plan, it was just Aaron Rodgers doing whatever he wanted and shit. And once he went down, we were fucked. Like, how are you running your offense like that? So at the end of the day, if I had to choose between one of them, I would lean more to Mac Jones.
You know what? And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a tough one for me because like I see both of those guys kind of the same. And but what hates I think it's the Raiders shielding me. I just because I'm tired of seeing Patriots come through here.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't want another Patriot coming to this team, you know. Especially, I can we just not deal with Patriots for a couple of, you know, at least a year or two?
No, I agree, but I think that was funny question.
No, it definitely is. I said an outlandish statement, and I said Cam Newton needs to get a tryout. I'm not saying he need to make the team, but he can definitely come in here and let's see what he got. Especially if our quarterback room is that wide open.
Hey, especially after, I don't know about making the team after that fucking fight video, maybe as a bouncer, a security guard at the facility or something, you know what I mean? But, you know, maybe not as a quarterback.
Hey. I would put him on a QB sneak on the end zone, going to the end zone. You know, nobody ain't going to just, you know what I'm saying? He going to fight his way through there.
No, I agree. You know what I mean? But it just sucks because he just sucks how the way he went down and the injury started catching up to him in his career. But
yeah,
when he was healthy and on top, he was one of the bad motherfuckers in this league.
Yeah. Hey, but that was a good question. The Mac Jones and Zach, because you and that's the other thing is like, you know, and I have to get over that too. Just personally, you know, we all have players that just have a bad taste on our mouth just because, you know, they didn't do well with the team that they were drafted to, and sometimes those teams, even though they think they could do something with them, sometimes that system that they're trying to put them in doesn't really fit the player. Yeah. And sometimes players get drafted into a system that doesn't work for them. And because it doesn't work for them, then, you know, it's almost like that cancel culture where people are just canceling them from possibly getting to a team that actually works for them. So who knows, you know, who knows what happens to those two, like you said, those two players, if they get to a team that actually, you know, the system works for them.
And the thing is with Mac Jones, the thing about him last season, he had a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator. Like, who the fuck does that stupid shit? You know what I mean? I understand Bill Belichick's one of the fucking smartest coaches of all time, but how the fuck are you going to get a defensive coordinator to be run your offense? Like, that makes no fucking sense. You're not setting your quarterback for success when you do stupid shit like that. So, at the end of the day, it's just a question, but, you know what I mean? You got good points there, Twuan.
Thank goodness Hoyer doesn't. Hey, look, I'm saying, look, Hoyer gotta go, bro. Hey, I'm reading your guys' comments. I'm reading your comments. I'm in the comment section. If you guys got any questions or if you guys have any, you know, any takes, go ahead and put them in. If you guys want to agree or disagree with what we're saying, that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? We're me and RT6, we don't get our feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying? When people have, you know, takes that are opposite from what we say.
No, facts. It's all good here. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Unless if you have a master's degree or own a $1 million corporation.
Already.
Oh man.
Hey, you guys, make sure you guys hit the like button if you guys have not. Auntie Six got you're working with what I forget, is it RWO? Is that what you guys call yourselves, or
The
what?
RW World Order. I'm over there with my Raider brother, the Kazi Raider and Raider Joe. We just did a live. I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. If you guys want to go to Alpha Kazi's channel and check it out, we did a little draft review from the draft class a couple years ago where we took Alex Leatherwood in the first round. You know what I mean? So you guys want to go check that out?
Okay, so hey, what are your thoughts on O-line? Well, because we got to address it. What do we need to do with O-line?
To me personally, Twuan, I'm just drafting players. I'm probably drafting 2 offensive linemen no matter what in this draft, and I'm bringing another 2 in through free agency. Because if I'm able to get at least a Pro Bowl level guard or tackle in this free agency that's proven that knows I can do that, that's one less position I've got to worry about, and I can just draft a guard or a center, because there's a lot of this draft is really deep at offensive line. You know what I mean? As much as players we want Fuaga or these top rated tackles, we can probably get one in the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe in the 4th that can probably start for us. And even the guards too, they're pretty good guards in this draft. But if we want to get a center, I think we probably have to get one in the first 2 rounds, because after the first, I think 3 names, there's not really one I really would name day 1 starter. So I know a lot of people want to get rid of Andre James, but at the end of the day, I'm not saying he's the best or the worst. But I'd rather just try to resign him for a year or 2 and try to fix the rest of the offensive line, because I'm not trying to create more holes than we already have. Because everybody's saying that we need to move Dylan Parham from left guard to center, and I don't want him to do that. I just want to leave him my left guard. Just because he did that at the Senior Bowl for a couple snaps and he looked pretty good doing it doesn't mean he can actually do it in the game. Or just because he looked good once doing it in the game doesn't mean anything really. You know what I mean? I just want to leave him at the left guard position, leave the left side of the line alone, period, and just work on the right side, because that's where we really did need to, especially too if we bring a left-handed quarterback in here, that's going to be their blind side, the right side. So at the end of the day, we need to make sure that shit's solidified 110%, because we don't want the quarterback to be worried about their blind side like Derek Carr and start acting like pressure's there when it's not there.
Mm. And that's a natural thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, as much as people want to say everybody wants to talk about Derek Carr, like, look, if you're a quarterback and your blocking up front ain't, you know what I'm saying, ain't hasn't been solid, like, you gonna have that in your back of your head too. You know what I'm saying? Like, they coming. So I can't blame him on that, but I do agree with you. I think, and I said this in my last live, and I think you were in there, but I'm gonna say it again, is I believe that I think in regards to the combine, I think there's enough talent there in the combine, you know what I'm saying, at the O-line, that I think we can actually get our offensive line, our starting offensive line, you know what I'm saying, in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, there's certain spots, okay, maybe you need to really get that tackle high to really solidify that. Maybe you can get your center, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, there's a first 1 or 2, but then there's some other guys that could possibly be that center, you know what I'm saying, that starting center. Go ahead and get them, you know what I'm saying, and fill out this O-line, because I think if you do that, then you have them again under that rookie contract that's super cheap. And guess what you're doing? You're not spending money on the real money on the cap. That means you can go ahead and that top pass rusher that we want to make our defense look like the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get him. Or, that top corner finally is free. Let's go ahead and snag him, because we got the money to just go pull the trigger on whoever we want. So, I'm a preacher of cheap labor. You know what I'm saying? And you guys know I use that word all the time. And if we could fill out the O-line where all we're doing is spending real money, you know what I'm saying? Money's already been spent on Colton Miller, so it's not like we got to worry about that. So, you know what I'm saying? He's the only one that's really a top, top money, you know what I'm saying, acquisition on that offensive line, and fill out that line, and whatever comes our way, when it comes our way in regards to free agency to come, we'll be ready to just go ahead and pull the trigger. Like that just sets us up even more for you know what I'm saying, success of this team. And like you said, if we, you know, and like we've been saying, is if we establish the O-line where they're here, you know what I'm saying, and you're not mismatching, you know what I'm saying? Keep Parham where he's at. Keep Colt Miller on that same side so they can have chemistry on that left side, and then have those young guys come in together and grow together. All the O-line is going to do is go up, you know what I'm saying, from that point. Of course, you know, barring injury, but, you know, that happens everywhere. But if you can get that chemistry and that togetherness,
yeah,
who knows what this offensive line can do and how they can grow.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No,
I just want
go ahead.
No, I just wanted to shout out to Raphael. Raphael, yeah, I agree with you. Like there is some question marks in regards to AOC, but again, the benefit is with this quarterbacks, the way the quarterback situation is, that there's going to be quarterbacks coming in. You know what I'm saying? So this year is going to be a competition, and even next year is going to be a competition. And you know what I'm saying? The chips are going to fall where he may. He may be the second. He may be the starting quarterback. He may be the backup. He may be the emergency quarterback if our quarterback room gets really, really good. You know what I'm saying? So I've been saying this, and I sound like a broken record, and it's because I really believe it. I think we're in a good place, even though it looks kind of shaky sometimes. I think we're really in a good place. We just gotta move, you know, continue to build, and again, because we have Coach AP here, he's already establishing that everything's a competition.
No, and it is, and I love that about that, because nobody's guaranteed a spot on the roster and shit. You know what I mean? As much as we want to say that Max Crosby and Devontae Adams and everybody, you know what I mean? But he treats everyone equally and shit, and at the end of the day, that's something I love. And at the end of the day, I don't understand why Michael Lombardi and everybody keeps wanting to bring up that he's from Compton and he don't know nothing about the Raider way and this and that. You know what I mean? And people like that they want to keep talking about Jim Harbaugh's penis and how long it is. Like, this has nothing to do with any of it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, AP got the job because he was the best man for this job. He produced during the trial he had last season, and he turned the team that was obviously about to fucking lose and have a top 5 pick and shit to almost having a chance to make the playoffs. So at the end of the day, AP is the right man for the job. As much as Lombardi wants to be hating because he got fired by Al Davis and his sons got fired by Mike Davis, maybe they were actually producing and doing their job and shit and actually helping us trying to achieve the Raider way, they would still be here. But I'm just tired of the disrespect he was trying to say about to AP the other day. That shit really pissed me off.
Hey, you must be on your smoke break, Mike G. There is no way we need to bring back Brandon Bolden.
That's how you know.
That's another name like Brian Hoyer that never should have been on this team.
Nah, for sure. I don't even understand all that money just for him to come in every now and then. Just ridiculous. All this stupid ass contracts that Josh McDaniels just brought in here, it's just ridiculous to me. Shit, it just oh my god. I'm just so glad that fucking moron is gone. It's just funny too. The Detroit Lions did try to do this shit a couple of years ago before they had their current head coach. They had hired Matt Patricia from the fucking New England Patriots, and they tried to do the same bullshit that we did, and they found out that they don't work like that, and they got rid of him, and they got the head coach that they got now, and they're headed in the right direction. You know what I mean? It took them a year or two to get the right players in here, to get all the people that didn't want to be in here. They had a couple good drafts, and look where they're at now. And I truly believe that could be us. You know what I mean? We finally got the right head coach and GM. And the thing is, too, I like Tom Telesco just because he's not all buddy with AP, and he has final say over the roster. Not like the previous 2 head coaches that were here and have final say over the rosters and everything. Especially how bad we fucking have been missing the first round picks. Thanks to John Gruden picking Arnett, Ruggs, and all these other dumbasses where we could have had different players and we would have had a playoff contending team by now if we would have just drafted right.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That's another point that I like too. Auntie, is I feel like with with
Looney
Telesco
Tunes,
having.
NorCal.
Oh, you looking at the chat? Hey, chat,
Yeah.
Chad. I saw you in the chat. Blessings to you. I skipped you on the roll call, but I'm sorry about that. I saw it. When I saw it. But that's the positive thing with Telesco is I feel like with Telesco having the control of building out this team. You know what I'm saying? Of course, AP is going to have his little says here and there, but it's not like AP has complete control. You know what I'm saying of the situation. I think it really works well that Telesco builds out the team and AP coaches the team. You know what I'm saying? I really like that. I like that conduit. I like that, that connection and that tandem. We've seen, and here, sometimes we got to take off the Raider glasses, right? Sometimes you got to take off the Raider glasses and be honest. That Chargers roster on paper looks really good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you have a situation like that where you have a situation like that where you have Telesco building out that team, that's what we've been asking for, right? We got the coaches. Now we just need the players to fill out this team. And I think Telesco is going to make his money, and Telesco is going to do his job and get it done.
No, I agree, and he has hit on somebody said like 75% of the first round picks. Imagine if we did that over the time. I'm not saying they're all been fucking home run picks, but they've been good to fucking great players and shit. You know what I mean? From Derwin James to fucking I can't think of all of them because I'm not really a Chargers fan, but there's just been some good players he's drafted, even some late round gems and like Keenan Allen. And so there, he's done this job. But the other thing is too, I have a buddy that's a Charger fan that everybody's saying, "Oh, what about the salary cap?" Well, the salary cap shit, that wasn't really him. That was the Dean's, the owner's son and shit, trying
Spanos.
to fucking win the Super Bowl or whatever right away and shit, and just totally gave a fuck about the cap and shit. And that's what the situation there is now. And the thing is too, from what I heard from him too, that Tom Telesco been trying to fire the head coach since last season, but since the head coach was buddy with the owner's son, he didn't want to get rid of him and shit until now. But it is what it is. So I'm just glad he's here now.
Yeah, I'm happy about I'm happy about the possibilities of what can be built. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the way that I seen Telesco build, especially when it came to the draft and the guys that he brought in, you know what I'm saying, over there for them. Like if he could do that for us, I think we're in good place because I like the coaching staff. I don't think I don't think there's a coach that I don't like completely just hate that we have on our team. Do you have any thoughts on our coaching staff?
I actually love our coaching staff, unlike Josh McDaniels' stupid ass that just had a stupid yes man around him and just everybody to agree with them. AP actually brought in fucking men in here like two former head coaches that are on their staff. You know what I mean? One that has offensive background and one that has defensive background that know a lot more of the what it is to be a head coach and shit. You know what I mean? He has former players on the staff that done this in the league that can relate to players and shit. You know what I mean? He has a good mixtures of coaches, former players. I just think this staff, in my personal opinion, is one of the better staffs that we had in the last 10 to 15 years, from the head coach all the way down to the GM, in my opinion. So that's why I'm really excited about the season. You know what I mean? And hopefully this staff stays together for a couple of years, man, so it can develop some of these rookies so we can start building the dynasty.
Yeah, and I think that's where we are. We as much as we want the Super Bowl this coming year, and I'm still hopeful that we can something can happen where we can get there. We still have to build out this team, and we got to allow these rookies that are coming in that's going to fill out our team to grow and get better. You know what I'm saying? Cool Kev said take O-line, wide receiver, or D tackle with the first pick. I think me and Auntie Six were on the what are your thoughts in regards to the first round?
I mean, to be honest with you, Twan, at the end of the day, I want a future quarterback at all costs. I don't care what it costs at the end of the day. Like Gabe says, fuck them picks. You know what I mean? I want Jalen Daniels. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this team is literally a quarterback away from being a playoff potential team, and it's right there. If we were to bring in Jalen Daniels for him in this offense with the weapons that we have, the running game that we have, would be a perfect fit. He's not going to the horrible ass Panthers where he has no wide receivers, no running game, no offensive lineman, no nothing. Look how fucking the rookie quarterback looked there last year. You know what I mean? If he comes in here, he's gonna have a decent offensive line, a good running game, two great wide receivers, often tight end. You know what I mean? And a good defense. It's not all gonna be on him for day one for him to win it. You know what I mean? So that's who I really want. And at the end of the day, if we're not able to get him, I'm taking offensive lineman or a defensive tackle or even a cornerback in the first round. But it all depends as well what we do in free agency. You know what I mean? It's hard to start doing those mock drafts or we're going to get this player or this player's going to go here until free agency happens. And another thing that has to happen is where's Justin Fields going to go? If Caleb Williams is going to go number one, the GM of the Bears said, oh, it's only fair for us to trade Justin Fields before free agency starts so he knows where he's going to be at. You know what I mean? So that needs to happen as well. And that's another option for the Raiders as well if we get Justin Fields, even though I personally don't want him. But that's another option for us to see. But it should be interesting this draft, and I'm really excited for what's going to happen.
Milka Beezy, I'm keeping hope alive. I definitely am. You know what I'm saying? I've seen players fall, but I don't see that right now. You know what I'm saying? And definitely I'm gonna keep my all the way into the draft. I'm gonna keep my hope alive, and hopefully we can, you know what I'm saying, still a Jaden Daniels. But if we're in a situation where there's, you know, the price is way too high.
Yeah.
And we need to, because of that, we're put at 13. There is some options in which we could still get, get the wins and get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But not without, without having one of the top three guys. And like I said, for me, the scenario I gave you guys earlier, it kind of makes sense. And would I be mad at it? Not at all. Especially knowing that, again, with all the other things that are in place, I still think that we will have a solid roster.
I agree, Twan. But it's just gonna be interesting what's gonna happen. But hey, Twan, I'm gonna get out of here, brother, because my phone's about to die, brother. You know what I mean? It was just a little surprise that we did a live at last minute and shit. But just want to shout you out thanks for having me on, Twan. If you ever want me on again, just let me know ahead of time, brother. You know, I'm always here. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the congregation, and shout out to everyone. And until the next one, Twan, have a good one. God bless.
Hey, blessings to you, man. Hey, Auntie Six is definitely a great guy. If you guys have not checked him out on our RWO, definitely you do not want to miss that over there with Afakasi Raider and Raider Joe. And they bring other Raider, guys over there too. So you definitely want to be a part of Afakasi Raider. Afakasi Raider is actually the channel that you want to check that out on. I'm reading your guys' comments. Jolie said, I like the plan, Twan. It's the most real. Hey, look, I'm just getting. Hey, I'm not saying that that's how it. I'm not saying that that's how it's going to. That's exactly how it's going to be. I'm just saying that could be a realistic option, right? And especially now, like we talked about earlier, how the there's a lot of reports that are coming out, right? And people, this person wants to be a Raider. This person's going to the Raiders. This person should go to the Raiders, right? We have to kind of filter all that and actually figure out, okay, does this actually make sense? And not just sense on one level, but on multiple levels. How does this make sense? How does it benefit the team? Does that player that they're talking about, could that player be a piece that could be used for the Raiders? So, Jolie, I think again to your comment, it is a realistic something, and definitely we need to take a look at it. Make sure you guys take a look at the like button and go ahead and hit it. Why? Because I like you. All right. Mark said, Twuan spitting facts. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Over here, we like to say we talking that Raider gospel. You know what I'm saying? We talking that Raider gospel. I try to do that for you guys as best as I can. Not saying I got all the answers, but I give you guys again the best that I can. Appreciate that. I have a feeling Russell Wilson's coming here. To stick to donkeys. That's another thing. Motivation, right? They still gotta deal with all the rest of his all the rest of the money that they gotta pay him for letting him go, right? And then he comes over here, plays for the minimum, and then gets to beat up on him, you know what I'm saying, twice a year. And again, he's also playing for his future, right? Either the future, I don't want to say the future with the Raiders, but a future with his next, the next team, right? If he plays well here, and again, like some people are talking about his attitude or whatever, right? He cleans that up, then there might be teams that say, hey, I think we need your services. And then that's when he can, get to, I'm not saying he's going to get top dollar, but get up to a respectable amount at quarterback, right? Because there is a cap for, you know what I'm saying? And I'm probably saying the wrong name, but there's a limit of how much they pay a starting quarterback. The quarterback market. You know what I'm saying? The market for a starting quarterback. Thank you. There goes the brain working, right? Yeah, Milka Beasley, the Steelers are meeting with Russell, Wilson. That, but again, like I said, I think that we have some things, even though we're still building out some things, I think there's some things that we have here that the Steelers ain't. Could be a smoke screen for the Bears. They want Fields, but Chicago. But Milka Beasley, that issue is the reason why everything is taking so long, right? It's not that, and I don't think it's not because teams don't want Fields. It's the fact that because of that, the Bears are trying to play poker, right? And you're trying to hold your hand as long as you can before you have to make your move. And that's what the Bears are trying to do, because the way things are setting up, you know what I'm saying? The indicator is if Fields gets traded, you know what I'm saying, on what the Bears do with that number 1 pick. Nobody wants Russell Wilson. He's a prospect. Well, hey, guess what? He could be a prospect under a veteran minimum to fill out our quarterback room. We how much is was we paying Brian Hoyer? I'm just saying, like, we gotta fill out this quarterback room. And why not? Why not take a look at it? If he doesn't become, hey, look, I'll say it like this: if he doesn't become our starter, you got a backup quarterback on a veteran minimum. Penix has been relatively healthy the last 2 years, though. Tyree was was injured when he was drafted. Yep. And that's the other thing. It's like, Penix his at the combine, his health, it cleared out. You know what I'm saying? He was good to go. And I think that with that, again, the reason why I'm saying move up, because in my scenario I said move up into the first to go get him, is because you're going to redshirt him that first year. So that means you're out of those 5 years, you still got him for 4 years at quarterback, right? That also, for those that have question marks in regards to his health, right? Now you have a situation where he's also getting even more healthier because he's not getting used like that. Raider Nation, good to see you. Nobody want to Russell. Did you see what the Broncos traded for him? Well, hey, that's the other thing. Shout out to you. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you guys have not. If you guys like the Raiders and you guys like this content, definitely you want to hit that subscribe button and join the best chat that YouTube has to offer, which is the congregation. Shout out to the congregation today. Yeah, that me and Auntie Six talked about that. Kukat said Russell has more baggage than we need right now. Hey, and me and Auntie Six talked about it. I said get him, and I said get him in the hopes of he's learning that the way I acted ain't gonna benefit me, ain't gonna benefit my career as a football player. You know what I'm saying? My hopes of getting the bag, all of that, right? And again, because we have coaches here that are nonsense, I don't think if Russell Wilson came in here that all those antics or whatever is gonna be tolerated. And probably, again, it's probably going to be communicated from the get. Hey, look, Russ, we ain't playing with you, dog. You ain't going to be doing that here. Yeah, Milky Beasley. Hey, look, he's going to get signed somewhere. And, there's people that like it. Some people don't like it. That's why I said, even before I made my statement on what I think kind of makes sense, it is what it is on that. But you can't deny you can't deny that there is teams out there that would love to have him on that vet minimum. You know, and if there's teams that like him on that vet minimum, that shows that at least that shows me that there's something that, you know, there's still something in the tank in regards to Russell Wilson's play. Like shouting out everybody. Cool Kev says that Matt got a weak arm like Jimmy. Cool Kev, come on now. Cam, Amik, same thing. Both came up short. Come on, Kev. Come on. Don't hate on Cam Newton like that. And Amik. Don't talk about Amik. Hey, Matt, let me say this now. Quit playing on Amik. Okay? Amik need to get signed immediately. Sign Amik. I say give him a hell of money, but he need to get some money. With the 13th pick, the mighty Las Vegas Raiders select Nate Wiggins, Clemson. Yeah, that's the other thing. At 13, do we want another injured corner? Mike G said Jackson Powers. So we getting a center. We getting a center. We getting a center at 13. That's what y'all want to do. Cool Cat. Come on now. Cool Cat, we're wilding. Cool Cat, come on, man. Hey, Cool Cat. Hey, you want to pull up? Hey, do you guys want? Okay, so I'll if someone wants me to repeat the scenario, I'll say it again. But you guys got to tell me. Give me a 2. Give me a 2 if you want me to a 2 if you want me to do the scenario. Give me a 0 if you don't want to hear the scenario. In regards to quarterback, because I know some people came in late. But I'm not going to go all the way in description and all that stuff like I did the first time. So you definitely got to go back and watch the replay. NorCal Raider Jesse, good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Blessings to you today. I'm actually scrolling down and seeing all the comments here. Lakers in 5 is in the building. If you guys are Laker fans, you definitely want to join the channel. Lakers in 5. Up for review. Salute, chat. Good to see JT. John Leon, good to see you. I hope all is well. Blessings to you today. Some of you guys, I'm like I said, I'm finally scrolling down to the bottom. JT, I'm on look, you I'm on two. Okay. Hey, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Because some of you guys got some paragraphs. I just saw all the paragraphs. And I'm gonna give you guys, I'm gonna give y'all a good 30 minutes. Okay, 30 more minutes. And then we're gonna hopefully 30 minutes. I'll say it like that. And then we're gonna, put a Trojan on it. You know what I'm saying? 2. Okay. So in scenario of I see it too. Okay, I see some too. So and actually let me do this. Where is it at? Where's Allegiance said 2. He wants a 2. So, hey, make sure you hit the like button.
You fucking cold.
Let me look in the camera to it. Hey, you guys go ahead and hit them likes. Why? Because I like you. All right, you clip that one right.
All right. So shout out to Lunatic Raider, Raiders Allegiance. If you guys are, brighten up. If you want some Raider stuff early in the morning, you definitely want to go to Raiders Allegiance. He definitely gets you going in the morning. So, check him out, Raiders Allegiance. All right. So 2, the scenario that I said in regards to quarterback, what I posed is that that the draft situation could be fluid, because you could stay put at 2 or go ahead and move up and get into the first round. Okay, so first round, I would go offensive tackle at 13. Okay, then with the second round pick, you go up, you use that to go back up into the first round. Okay, and you draft Michael Penix. Okay, not saying Michael Penix is worth a first round, but what you do is his first year, obviously, because you're going to by you drafting him in the first round, you're picking him to be. You're going to give him the 5th-year option. That's pretty much a non-negotiable, because what you want to do is you want to keep it as cheap as possible. So you keep it as cheap as possible by giving him the 5th-year option, right? With that first year pretty much being a red shirt year. So he sits. Okay. Then because you're gonna have to get a free agent to fill out the roster, and you're gonna draft one. That's the scenario. So you're drafting Michael Penix with the 5th-year option where he redshirts, and then that free agent comes in and battles it pretty much with Aiden O'Connell. So the person that's going to battle him is Russell Wilson on the veteran minimum. So you get a left-handed quarterback to start. Well, I'm just saying, say he beats out Aiden O'Connell, right? So Russell Wilson beats out Aiden O'Connell. Then you have a left-handed quarterback. Then you have the guy that you're redshirting, who's also a left-handed quarterback. So you're not messing up systems and protections and all of that, because you have 2 left-handed quarterbacks. And again, Russell Wilson comes in on a prove-it year. where his attitude has to be right and also his play has to be right in order for him to get a bag with somebody else. But that allows Michael Penix to sit, grow, learn again, because you have a situation where personally for me, I think JJ from JJ on the way down, 4 down, I think those guys really realistically need to sit a year. Some of those guys will actually start for their team, but I think they need to sit a year. So because I think Michael Penix is another guy that would be a better quarterback if he sits a year, bring Russell Wilson in, let him play that year, then the next year, let it be a competition again, and then obviously, Michael Penix should be up to speed to where he possibly will start. I have a guest coming in. So that's the scenario. Russell Wilson at free agency, and then drafting Michael Penix. You can get him in the second round if you want, but again, that'll only be for 4 years instead of for 5. So that's where you can do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with, hey, if you can get him in the second round, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's still, we can still do the same thing, but then now you have one less year, you know what I'm saying, of a rookie contract of a quarterback. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a guest coming in. Those, if the link's in there and you guys want to pull up, it's perfectly fine. We're here for discussion. Again, I got 30 minutes. I'm about to go for about 2 hours on this live, and that's perfectly fine. Make sure you hit the like button. If you like the Raiders, go ahead and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, Up for Review is in the building.
As Deion Sanders said, we coming. We coming. Yes, we coming. I know we ain't quite here, but we coming.
What's going on with you, man?
Oh, nothing much. Just pulling up, just let everybody know I'm still alive. We here in effect. Heard you, had to jump on real quick. But kind of keep. No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, because I know you're probably gonna say something about my. I'm not saying that's exactly what I want, but I think that scenario kind of makes sense. But go ahead.
So, kind of wanted to continue from Dirty's chat because then I can learn. So, are you in win now mode or build for later?
I'm
because okay, let me just to give you a little bit more leeway, because this is what my show the first one gonna come up. Just for everyone to think, we don't have time on our side with our star key players, right? We got 2 years max with Devontae being the best wide receiver in the league. Then he becomes a serviceable wide receiver. Josh Jacobs, if you sign him, that means you playing to win now, right? If you don't sign him, that means you're building for the future because you're going to bring in somebody, or if you're bringing in another free agent like an Eckler, Eckler or someone else, I don't want to bring in Henry. I don't want to bring in Saquon Barkley because Jacobs is better than both of them. So those, if you're not signing Jacob, those 3 are already out. If you're going to bring in a free agent who is going to produce more than him, if you're trying to win now, like that's the dilemma that the Raiders are in. You either in the win now mode and you build around, like you're not going to build through the draft. If I'm in win now, I'm trading. I'm trading my first round picks. I'm trading first and second round. I'm gonna trade down.
I think we're in. And with my scenario of the Russell Wilson, you know what I'm saying? I think you can do a little bit of both, because I think with Russell, you can win now. You know what I'm saying? Obviously he's the veteran quarterback. He can get the job done. But I think with, like I said, if you still draft behind that, then it's a smooth transition. It's not a situation where, oh, we got Russell Wilson and there ain't nobody behind him that's ready to take the torch. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of where I'm at. I would love for us to, you know what I'm saying? I think where the team is, the way it looks like it's structured, I think we are in a win now. You know what I'm saying? Devontae Adams is not a spring chicken anymore. You know what I'm saying? I think Josh Jacobs is going to be here. And I think because Josh Jacobs is going to be pretty much, I think we want to really manufacture our offense kind of around, you know, Josh Jacobs, you know, kind of run to, you know, but outside of that, I think there needs to be the rookie that's waiting for his turn. You know what I'm saying? Like the Zeus. You know what I'm saying? The Zeus, you know, next year, Zeus is still going to be under a rookie contract. You know what I'm saying? And
but he's going to be it's a negotiation year for Zeus though next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So but still, it's a transition into him possibly maybe being that number one. We have to do that in regards to our quarterback because again, Aiden O'Connell realistically is the only one that's in our locker room. So I think if you back to the question, do I think it's a win now situation? I think it is a win now situation. But with that being said, I still feel like we can still prepare for the future. And the future for me, even with the win now situation, I think even with our offensive line where it is, you know, the way the talent is in the combine, I think we can get our starting offensive line in the draft, which means that again, and I've been saying it, the only person that we're really paying top dollar for or big dollar for is our left tackle. Everybody else, Parham is in his second year, would be in his second year coming up. You know what I'm saying? So you have a veteran, you have a guy that's in his second year, and then if you draft everything else, center, right guard, and then right tackle, then you got those guys for 4 years under a rookie contract. So you're building for the future still behind what you would say is a win now situation.
But then what are you solid on then is what I'm saying. Because again, if you're doing that, you're getting rid of leadership at that point. And as you've seen with the past winners of Super Bowls, they all had veteran leadership. I mean, it wasn't like they all super excelled in one specific area. No, like they had a very solid team that was solidified, you know, from top to bottom.
Yeah.
You know, but like with the Chiefs, I mean, besides the Chiefs, they just had their best player and most important player as a quarterback. Right? With Tampa Bay, their most important player was their quarterback, not their best player. And then they had their best player was probably was probably Mike Evans, right? But they still had their most important players in like key areas on their team. Like their linebacker was key, their safety was key. You know what I'm saying? They had veterans that were key in key areas in leadership roles. We don't have that.
But that's where I agree with you on that there is some pieces there is some places and pieces that, you know, we need to address, and I think that's where we can address that in free agency, where we can bring in a veteran to, you know what I'm saying, handle a room or whatever the situation may be. Now, in regards to the offensive line, where I said having rookies on that offensive line, I'm talking about starting. I'm talking about those guys being starters, and then having, again, obviously Colton Miller as a veteran, so he could be a leader on that offensive line. And then the backups could the backups could be a veteran. Who says Illuminor can't be a backup for, you know what I'm saying? A backup.
Chaplain.
I'm
here. That's a whole bunch of hoping, wishing, and praying that shit works out. But that's not.
But that's where we're
it's not probable. It's not. I don't think that we're at that yet. I mean, like I said, we can't do both. We have to choose. We can't build for the future and try and win now. It's just not available. We just don't have the availability for that. We don't have the picks to build for later, and we don't have the cap to just buy players right now. We just don't. So in order for us to either be successful, we have to pick and choose. Are we retooling? And then are we going to have to possibly upset the fan base right now to build for the future? Or are we playing for right now and then possibly falling into what the Rams are about to fall into? You know what I'm saying? And going all out and going all in and then going to be hurting in the next couple of years. Like, that's where we are. And that's the hand that we have to deal with. It sucks to say, but I'm going to be honest. There's no guarantee that we are going to bring in the right or the key free agents right now who everyone says, not everybody doesn't want to come to Vegas, man. They don't.
Right.
Like everyone always says Vegas is not the spot to be. Vegas is very problematic for single men and players, and with the time frame right now of the era, there's no security or from pedestrians. There's too many cameras in Vegas right now. Too many people like to talk. Too many people on social media. Too many people trying to be popular. You know. And that's the issue that Vegas has. Granted, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, well, there's no state tax." It ain't worked. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked then. It ain't gonna work now. Like I've said it last year. I'm gonna say it again. I don't want to be the stepping stone for somebody to use this for a contract bait, and that's everything everyone's doing. I don't want to also be the last contract we give to people. Like I said it when we signed Marcus Peters. That was the most worst thing we could have did. That was horrible. Dude is washed up, and if he gets on the field because he's going to be better than what we have, that just shows how good we aren't. We're not ready to win now. I'm sorry. I don't see us ready to win now unless we go all out and bring in guys, because we have too many areas to fill. Like, we're trying to draft. We still feel like we got to draft that defensive line for defensive tackle. We still need better linebackers, and we need corners. That means you only can focus on one area in the draft. If you need three different tier levels in one side of the field, but you still also need to get better on offense. You still also going to have to get younger on offense. You still also going to need to find a leader on your offense if you don't feel confident or if you don't feel safe with Aiden. That's just too much to. You can't answer. Like, you can't. There's just too many things that you have to address. There's just too much to address to really sit here and say we can do both. So that's why I tell people we got to pick and choose. I mean, we have tools, we have weapons that we could build upon if we want to win. But man, it's going to be rough for a couple years after that, and we have to guarantee we can win. And is there enough out there in free agency that it will fix the issues that we have? And will the person buy in? Will that free agent actually gel with the players that we have? That's what you have to like, yeah, we can get people. Is it going to work? And I'm not someone who plays that I don't do the possibility. I do the probable. And the probability of that working is low. It's very low. Like the teams that have done it. What's the last team that done it in the last 10 years? What, Tampa Bay? And even they needed help with the other team making mistakes. They had to go get, Tom Brady, and they still almost lost. And Tom Brady ain't in free agency right now, even though he ran a 40 times better than what he did when he got drafted. That's what I ask people, bring in who, because I mean, I don't see people out there at running back. I don't know about the linebackers. Defensive players are asking for too much money for the amount of money that we have. There isn't enough negotiating power right now that will answer the issues that we need answers to. I mean, honestly, if I'm gonna focus on one area, if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna address one specific position on defense. I'm either gonna address the corner, I'm gonna address my defensive backfield, or I'm gonna address my defensive line. I'm gonna address one of them. Because then I could put. Go ahead.
You can do that though.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're talking about doing multiple things. Is what I'm saying. If we are a win now, cool. Okay, we can win now. But let's really assess what the team and let's address the team. Let's see what our issues are. Where do we need to get better at? And we need to get better at multiple levels, not just one specific area. Like we can't just say, oh well, we missed the playoffs because we just didn't have no receivers, or we missed the playoffs because our linebackers got hurt. That's not what happened.
I think there's only really two areas that we really need to address in regards to really make our defense a whole lot better. And not saying that our defense wasn't good, because I think our defense, even if we tried out the defense we had last year, I think that would be fine if our offense was able to come to bat. So I think the biggest issue is our offensive line and that side of the ball.
On the offensive side, you think the offensive line was the biggest issue?
Yeah. Over
the quarterback play?
Yeah. I think, to be honest with you, I'm not saying that Aiden O'Connell played a perfect game or anything like that, but I think that if Aiden O'Connell went out there and that offensive line was a little more solidified, whether it's drafting guys that actually can get the job done or whatever the situation may be, I think we could have won a couple of more games. And last year, based on the record that we had last year, a couple of more games would have had us in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I don't blame the offensive line for being as bad as they perform. I honestly put more of that on scheme and the defensive coordinator being able to out scheme our offensive coordinator. Not just one, not just Bo. I'm talking about both offensive coordinators. The defensive coordinators on other teams was just far more better than what our offensive coordinator was. And a lot of the time it was scheme. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the time they were bringing pressure. We weren't adapting. We weren't able to make in-game adjustments. Like we're losing things. Like it was just a chess game mentally. We're losing the mental game. Not more of, I mean, okay, yeah, occasionally you would see certain, like if teams were getting physical at times, yeah, but then you could see us getting physical with other teams, and then it would just be little mental mistakes that are coaching cues that we were losing. I don't think that the O-line was that bad, but can it improve? Absolutely. But I could say that for a lot of areas. I could say that for the quarterback room. I could say that for the offensive line. I can also say that for the wide receiver room. So like the offense period was just down because I just think they were just down because it was just a bad staff. I honestly, like, it's with a grain of salt. The defense was definitely a lot better last year than we have in previous decades, which is crazy. But when you really look at it, how many backup quarterbacks did we face? How many opportunities did we have to go against a team that would have been at 70, 80% strength? And we still were struggling with those games. We're not going to run into eight backup quarterbacks again, or even playing a third string quarterback. That doesn't happen often. So I'm really looking at my defense like, how good are they? I'm still questioning it. They're definitely a lot better. It definitely got better in the latter of the year, but a lot of teams get better in the latter year. Were we better than the Green Bay team that we beat early in the season? You think we win that game if we played them later in the season? Nah, Jordan Love threw what 4 picks against us. He threw what a quarter of the interceptions we had. Yeah, I mean, like if you really look at it, there's a lot of questions, man, that was not answered this offseason. And people think, oh, this is no, it wasn't.
I'm not saying that the defense was the Baltimore Ravens or anything like that, but I'm just, when it's kind of like, they say the baby that cries the loudest, gets the attention. Well, I think the baby that cried the loudest was the O-line. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, of course we, like I said, we still in reality, we still got to fill out this quarterback room. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like I said, the best option for that is to draft it in free agency and in the draft.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not like down on Aiden for running it back. I'm letting Aiden get a full.
Me neither, but we still have to fill out that roster because you take 4 quarterbacks into camp, and you can get away throughout the season with 3 quarterbacks because you get the emergency quarterback, but we ain't even got that right now.
I mean, well, that's gonna be full. Quarterbacks you'll find one, but you'll find backups. If we have to go to our backup, our season's done. So I'm running it with Aiden, and I do agree with you that we definitely do need to improve the O-line and strengthen that, but I don't think you strengthen it by drafting three new kids or bringing in 3 rookies. That's not going to strengthen the O-line. That's going to make them weaker. Especially, I haven't even got on it, but with the offensive coordinator, he doesn't cut this guy. Personally, I don't like him. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was terrible. It's just as terrible as the Josh McDaniels for me personally. And like people want to sit here and say, "Oh, let's get Jaden Daniels." I was like, I've seen what this guy does with a kid who's mobile, who runs better than he throws. I don't need to see that. I've seen that already. I know what he's going to do with Jaden Daniels, and if he doesn't have an O-line, I mean, he's just going to run for first downs. It's gonna be more on the kid than it is on our offensive coordinator, and then that means Devontae ain't getting the ball. Jacoby Myers ain't getting the ball. Mayer's not getting the ball. And if it's a losing product, Max ain't gonna be happy, and he's already expressed that he ain't trying to play for a losing organization. He loves the Raiders, but he ain't gonna stay here if we're losing. We already know Devontae ain't gonna stay and want to be here. He's gonna voice his opinion. And those are the 2 strongest voices that you're going to have in your locker room. Who else is going to start stepping up and speaking up? So it's like, there's a lot of things that I can sit here and be negative on. I just want to see the direction because I don't know what the identity is. Like we still ain't even gone with who's going to be our running back. Are we going to bring in Josh Jacobs? Because in that, that's going to help us. That will help the fan base actually feel more comfortable to know what type of direction we're going in. Because you can lean on Josh. Josh has proven 4 straight years he can carry the load. Zeus ain't proven he can carry the load. He didn't prove he can carry the load in Georgia. So I wouldn't feel confident with giving Zeus going Zeus as my number 1 back. Hell no. But like I said, I'm more high on the O-line, but the O-line does need to get better at 2 positions. It's just a lot for us to address. And personally, I think we would be half-assing it if we try to address both. If we try to win now and get better in the draft and get younger and do the development, we'll stay at where we're at right now. We'll just be stagnant. We either play for it all and go for the goal, or we gotta Got to do what Kansas City didn't build. Give a serviceable product, and then we're gonna have to build and bring in some kids, develop kids, get the right developmental coaches, get the right guys, get the right staff in here, and develop talent. Bring in guys who know how to develop talent. Bring in guys who know how to tutor. Bring in the right veterans. Teaching these guys what nutrition is. Teach these guys how to spend their off season, not getting in trouble. Like that's what we're going to need to do. And if we don't do that, we're gonna be an 8-win team again, man. 8-9-win team. And nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to watch that. I'm gonna be pissed off. So Mark Davis, Telesco, Pierce, they gonna have to get together and decide what they're going to do. Now, granted, I love that it's kind of quiet. There's nothing leaking out, so that means that staff has no leaks. So that's solid. That's good. It's a good sign that nothing's really coming out. There's nothing in the media. Nobody's speaking. They don't have no spies or anything like that. That's good. Like me not really hearing that much, I like that a lot. I heard way too much in the last couple of years. I had way too much info as a pedestrian. I'm not somebody who has a badge that can walk in that building, yet I knew so much of that building. So I got a little bit, but what I used to get, not even close. So that's a good sign that the staff is in order and everyone's, gelling together with the coaching staff. But I gotta see something, man. I just either you go all in or you're gonna have to trade Devontae, man, and really build. Yeah, but bringing in Wilson is kind of similar to what we did last year when we tried to bring in Marcus Peters. I don't think Wilson can play. I don't think he can win a Super Bowl no more. I think he can hold your team together while if your quarterback gets hurt, he could come in and win a couple games. But for him to go out there and just beat teams, 17-game season, then another 5 games in the playoff? No, I don't see him doing that. I don't think he has it anymore. But he could definitely win us a couple of games. He definitely can keep the team steady, and he's definitely going to be great in the locker room and in that quarterback room. But I don't see him taking a team to the playoff as the number 1 guy. But I would love to see Russell Wilson on the sideline coaching up whoever's quarterbacking the team. Because now you have someone who could teach him how to be good with press. Like last year, we didn't really have no one who was good with press. You know what I'm saying? Like dealing with press is stressful and it's annoying because you don't want to do it. You're forced to do it, and he's great at it. He's good at it. Nobody in the press can sit here and say they don't like Russell Wilson or he's not a nice guy or a good guy. The press loves him, and he's going to teach that to guys who aren't good with press. There's so much he can teach this locker room, and we need more guys like that. The locker room is way too young. There's not enough veterans in there. And that was because of Josh McDaniels' dumbass and sending out guys who were too outspoken because they knew the game. They know how the game works. And they knew the bullshit he was doing, which is why he had to get him out of there so he can take over. So now we got to bring guys back in. Who would I get at quarterback? Personally, there's only 2 quarterbacks in this draft that I would draft. And that would be Caleb Williams and Penix. The kid from North Carolina is trash. He's just that one guy that they throw out there. JJ McCarthy is trash. Daniels, I granted, I liked what I seen with him at LSU, but personally, he's only good when he has a supporting cast around him. When his supporting cast is better than the other supporting cast, then he's good. But when you look at what he did at ASU, nah. When like he's not gonna have a stacked team. He's gonna need a stacked team and have better athletes. If not, he's just gonna be he's average. To me personally, he's average. He was very average at ASU. I just seen a team that had better talent and played a very favorable schedule at LSU, which is why you saw what he did, and he took advantage of it. But in the NFL, I don't see it. But if I can't get either of them, I'm as I was telling Twuan, if I'm playing for now, then I'm trading my pick. I'm trading down and trying to get better players. You know, guys who are in contract disputes. You know, guys who probably got franchise tag. I'll probably go after them. But yeah, if I can't get those two, I'm right with Aiden. Cool. That shit won't fly with the AP. If there's a coach that keep Wilson from getting on his high horse, it's AP. Keep Wilson? Is he talking about Tyree Wilson?
No, he's talking about Russell Wilson.
Well,
Because
Russell Wilson
a lot of people, and you hear it. A lot of people talk about Russell Wilson, and the bad thing that they're saying about Russell Wilson is because I guess he had his own office with the Broncos. Well, that ain't gonna fly over here.
Wait, no, he negotiated that. No, like stop. That's negotiations. If I could negotiate that in my contract, I would, and that's what they did. That's what the Broncos did. I'm not gonna kill him because he asked for something and they gave it to him. That isn't him being a diva. Hey man, hey, can I get it? And they gave it to him. That's just like somebody asking for more money. That's not a problem. I think there was more of a problem with him and Sean Payton having more of an issue and a gripe. That was a bigger issue than him having his own office. Nah, I mean, there's something called a hierarchy, man. Certain players get that. You know, when you win a Super Bowl and you take a team, yeah, you can ask for that. No one would have said that if Tom Brady said that. You wouldn't say that if Patrick Mahomes said that. Why? Because there's a hierarchy. If you can acquire it, I got no problem with that, man. I mean, none of the players are really saying anything about it. It's not like he was ostracizing himself from that. The media was talking more than most of the players do. So, like, what are we talking about, man? Y'all focus on the wrong thing. Like him having an office makes him it doesn't make him a diva. It just means he knew how to negotiate and he asked for it and they gave it to him. It's called having a great agent.
I just feel like that situation, it ain't gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? AP's not gonna have any type of not even just the office situation, but just any type of diva like person, you know, diva like behaviors. I'll say it like that. And like I said, with Russell Wilson, he's in a situation where he's playing for his next contract. He's not playing for the contract he gets right now. He's playing for his future contract. Like he's playing for next year. I'll say it like that. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to land with the team, probably, you know, sign for that vet minimum. And then from there, see if he can either latch on with that team, you know what I'm saying, for another, like a big contract, or some other team says, hey, how much is Russell Wilson in the window? And he sets his price. You know what I'm saying? And it's really going to be based on how he plays and his behavior. That was the only reason why I brought it up, was like, okay, well, if those things are in place, then I think it could actually fit for our team. Again, you would have that leadership in the quarterback room. You would have time for that rookie quarterback, whether it's Aiden O'Connell or whoever we draft, to learn and mature. So when it's time for them to take on the quarterback position, they can do it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's mid-season or whether it's the next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I said, especially for the price. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people talk about, the price of the quarterback is way too much. Well, that's the quarterback market. You know what I'm saying? And now you have an option to get a rookie. Now you have an option to get a veteran quarterback under a veteran minimum, and we're not looking at it.
No, I hear you, but I'll be honest with you. Russell Wilson got his last. He ain't getting another contract. He's a mercenary for hire. He's not gonna get no money. If you on a veteran minimum right now, he's Brian Hoyer. He's gonna be Brian Hoyer, just going from team to team to team that's gonna need somebody and need a body. That's who he is. So he's not getting no big money. He's not. He's just a guy who's considered a good leader, a good locker room guy who can teach and has information that you would want to extract from him. That's what you're bringing him in for. You're not bringing him in for his play. If you're bringing Russell Wilson in to be a starting quarterback, you have a losing organization. That's the Denver issue. That wasn't a Russell Wilson issue. Remember, Russell Wilson was the franchise. He was bigger than what their coach was. So you're going to appease. Yeah, they appeased to him to bring him in. They thought he would be the finishing piece, and they found out the hard way he wasn't. On top of what they're running, that's their fault. He's not going to get that same type of treatment anywhere else and in the league. Hell no, he's not. I wouldn't even question, he's going to come here and act. He's not. He can't. He doesn't have the bargaining power to do that anymore. The only people who have that bargaining power is Patrick Mahomes.
I think Russell Wilson also getting a bad rap. I think in the situation, because I heard reports that Sean Payton didn't even want. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even obviously he's there, but Sean Payton didn't even like Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so he doesn't fit what he wants.
It was one of those situations like he was. I hate to say it, but it was similar. It's similar to the Derek Carr situation where McDaniels just. Reports came out that McDaniels really wasn't even feeling, you know what I'm saying? He McDaniels already had in his mind that he wanted Jimmy G or Tom Brady here. You know what I'm saying? And that didn't work, you know what I'm saying? That didn't work out twice. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady didn't come here and Jimmy Garoppolo didn't work out for us. So, but that's why I feel like, a lot of people are so down on the guy. And I'm like, he's not as bad as y'all claim him to be. Like, yeah, he's lost the step. You can say that, you know what I'm saying? He's not the Seattle, you know what I'm saying, fresh out of the box quarterback. But you put him under an offense that works for him with some weapons, get him some protection, and you gonna win some games.
For like a 4 or 5 game stretch. I think that's what Jimmy G needs to do. Jimmy G can win games in 4 or 5 games, and then eventually the tape's gonna be out on him, and you know how to beat him. Maybe 2 or 3 games for Jimmy, but I'm saying for a simple stretch, yes, he can come in and be be a key piece and key asset to your team. But if he is the asset that you're going to build around or put in position for your team to win with him, nah, your team sucks. Your team's going to suck. I don't see Russell Wilson coming in on your team regardless of what you have around him. He could go to the San Francisco 49ers. They won't even, I honestly would say they get bounced out in the first round. I think they would lose to the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs.
Hey Greg, just so you know, today, the 2 for 1 Nation podcast wasn't able to go because Eric wasn't able to make it for personal reasons. So we'll resume next week for the 2 for 1 Nation podcast. This is just a regular live. I just decided to go live, and I had Auntie Six on earlier, and JT was in the chat, and he pulled up. The link is actually in the chat if anybody else wants to join. But yeah, this is just a regular live. This is not the 2 for 1 Nation podcast, but we will. The 2 for 1 Nation podcast has not gone anywhere. There ain't no drama between me and Eric. It's just
there gonna be drama. Hey, hear that, Eric? Hey, Greg say you need to get replaced. I'm just playing.
there ain't no drama. It's just schedules just didn't work out. So I was like, well, hey, since I got the time, I might as well go live. So that's why we're live. So yeah, I'm glad that you're enjoying the conversation. Make sure you hit the like button.
If Sean Payton is so great, why couldn't he get Wilson to play? Because Wilson's not that good no more, man. He's not the Russell Wilson of 10 years ago. He's the Russell Wilson of 2024. That's what you got. He's a. Hey, look, I'm gonna say this. He's the Russell Wilson of 2024 who doesn't have that edge anymore because he's happy at home. But he enjoys having. I'm gonna be honest with you. That matters, Twuan. I'm gonna be honest. Sierra kind of had on players. If you know who she's messed with, she kind of has a similar effect to the Kardashians. She kind of has that Kardashian effect when it comes to players. Hey, her man be happy as hell, and he ain't got that edge no more, man. He don't be walking into the arena all upset and mad like I gotta release some frustration. He be walking in like I got a happy home. I'm about to go post some pictures up later on Instagram. I'm just saying he don't got the edge no more.
I don't think that's the case in regards to it. And back to the original statement, I feel like with Sean Payton already had made up in his mind who he wanted at quarterback, and he was not going to adjust his offense for a player like Russell Wilson. And I think that's again, it goes back to the Raiders. Same thing with McDaniels. McDaniels didn't want to fix his, maneuver or shape his offense around Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? And that's where that fell apart. And I think again, Sean Payton had that mentality that I'm not changing my playbook for this player. And again, you have to have an offensive coordinator or a head coach or whoever you want to call it. You have to have that coordinator, shape your offense around the talent you have. And he wasn't doing that.
No, and I definitely understand that, and I get that, and that's what you call grounds for having a losing organization, a losing team. If you're as with the NFL now, it's not built around not built around your program. It's built around the players. You gotta adapt to the players. The players don't need to adapt to you. If the players have to adapt to you, you're a bad coach now. That used to work. That used to work in the 80s and 90s. That doesn't work anymore. If you can't adapt to the talent that you bring in, and you can't slide guys in and add packages for specific guys, then your team's gonna suck.
And you notice those coaches are starting to slowly get out the league. Who's Belichick? Who's Saban? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all those guys.
I think Belichick was really good.
And it works for you know what I'm saying? It works for some, but it didn't work for a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's where again they don't adjust according to the talent they have. That's why I feel like, again, Russell Wilson isn't as bad as people want to put on him. He was just put in a system where, again, the head coach and offensive coordinator wasn't going to work with him, and the money was just, the price was way too high. So the only way that they were going to be able to move on from that situation was to do what they did.
Out. Yeah, I think the cards are definitely stacked against him. I'm not gonna say on that. I thought Belichick was actually one of the better older style coaches who was able to adapt and bring in guys who would conform to his system, but he also would put in packages. I thought the Patriots were really good at that, which is why I hated them for so much, because I just can't stand the Patriots. But I think old age is not. I think he was able to do it with the last decade of kids that came in, not this decade. I think these kids they're too much for him, and I don't think he's willing to conform that much. I think, that's why I still don't understand why other teams are trying to hire him as a coach still. I don't understand that. Happy wife, happy life, happy ending.
Brian Hoyer is Hondo's best friend forever. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if Brian Hoyer is Hondo Carpenter's best buddy. Like, he better tell his best buddy to act right. You know what I'm saying, with players and act right when he plays on his field. We can't just have dead weight. You know what I'm saying, on this roster, and that's where I've been. You know what I'm saying? Brian Hoyer is dead weight. Brandon Bolden, dead weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to move on from those guys. Sorry. And that's where I feel like, again, I'm willing to take a shot on Russell Wilson. I'm willing to take a shot on, you know what I'm saying, a rookie. If you're telling me Brian Hoyer and Brandon Bolden are my options down the line of the roster.
You said Brian Hoyer. Who was the other one?
Brandon Bolden.
Brandon Bolden. Oh, yeah. I'll take Russell Wilson in a heartbeat. I don't know, man. Like, it's gonna be an interesting draft because it's just so quiet. I'm gonna enjoy it. Regardless of what we pick. I won't be mad. I won't be mad at whatever we pick. I won't be mad. As long as it's okay, let me take that back. I can be mad if we trade up to get a project. I will be mad at that. If they trade up and get Daniels, if they trade up and get May, if they trade up for like a McCarthy or something like that, I'll be mad at that. But if they get, if they go center with the kid from Oregon with Powers, if they go offensive, get the kid from the other O lineman who's the guard or the chat, because Powers is good because he can play multiple positions. He can play guard and he can play center. So, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of like what Cody Mock was last year. I wish we would have got Cody Mock, but we just didn't. There's another offensive lineman, I can't remember his name right now. If we get Brock Bauer, I wouldn't mind that, because with the way the NFL is going, you need a dynamic tight end. You need one, and I love Mayer. You know, so I thought it was a really good pick when we got him. He's just not dynamic. He's not dynamic. He's like, honestly, he's gonna be what? He's gonna be a fantasy guy, like Jason Witten, or like who was that dude? He used to play at Pittsburgh, Jesse James.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, he'd get you stats, but he's not going to really he's not impactful enough on the game. Like where he can dictate and demand coverage as Kittle can, or Wynton, or Kelsey can, or Laportier, the kid from Detroit. Like the league is going tight end. And people need to understand that they're going tight end, and you need a dynamic one. And if you don't have one, you're behind the bell curve.
I think you and Big Tone said a shout out to you. Good to see you, man. I think tight end is not really a big priority in regards to where we are on this team. I think there's bigger needs there, and I think also in regards to addressing the tight ends, because I still think the tight ends do need to be addressed. We
only have one. The other two are only for 1 year contracts, right?
Yeah.
So we have one tight end.
What you can do is we've been actually pretty good at bringing in tight ends that are undrafted free agents. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I think we can still fill out that tight end room, because the way that we use our tight ends is not like the tight ends are a primary factor in this offense. Like, you have your tight end and he could possibly be the third or fourth option, but it's not like two tight ends are going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, one kind of hides behind the other. So we can get away with having an undrafted free agent at that second tight end and still be able to get things done. I think Mayer's going to be that guy, if, for us tight end wise, who gets the big shine, but the other guy is definitely just going to have to be kind of like, I kind of like how Gruden used to do it, where one was like a real good pass one, and then the other one was like, all you know was it was a surprise if he caught the ball, because all he was just a good blocker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we can get away with that at times.
And I don't disagree with that if you're trying to win now. But if you're trying to build, then yeah, it's a problem. So everything that you said works if you're in win now mode. But if you're in trying to build for the future, then it doesn't.
Well, I don't think
because
I get it. I get it. I get the fact that we need to invest at tight end, but the way that we are where we are right now, I don't think we have enough bullets to say, oh, I'm gonna draft in the fourth round a tight end, when we know that we need to draft in the fourth round, someone on our offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Priority wise, you can't do it all in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is going to possibly take 2 years to get to, really investing in that tight end. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we got one, but to have that second tight end, I think, yeah, you can draft next year for tight end. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think you can do completely fill out everything this year. So it's really taking care of again, like I said, the baby that's crying the loudest.
No, yeah, and I definitely hear that and understand that. I was just saying, there's only if you're drafting, say we're at 13, we don't trade up, we're at 13, he's there. Say he's there, Powers is there. The defensive, he's not number one though, and I'll say the kid from North Carolina is there, May, right? I'm drafting him. I'm drafting Brock, because for me, there's only like two once in a lifetime players in this draft. He's one of them. He's that dynamic. I have him that high on the board. He's that dynamic where he changes the look of your whole entire offense. He's that dynamic. You have him, and it's a toss up for me with the quarterbacks, with Caleb Williams and Penix. Whichever you like better. There's only two in this draft that change the whole dynamic of your team. Nobody else in the draft does that. No one else in this draft does that, but Brock Bauer does. He instantly will become your number one tight end. You would now have a guy who can stretch the field, be an extra blocker, and now he's a mismatch anywhere on that field. He's a mismatch. Safeties can't run. Safeties in the NFL can't run with him. Linebackers can't run with or can't run with him. And he's big enough where he would have to command a corner because he runs routes that well. He's that good. He has some of the best hands out of wide receivers and tight ends. He's an instant end zone threat. Far better end zone threat than Mayer is, with a far bigger catch radius. So if you're going, and honestly, we kind of can run a more spread two tight end look, and we could put him in like a slot position at wide receiver because he's that fast. He's actually that fast with pass zone. I mean, he instantly becomes a better target. And I'll be honest with you, the way Aiden likes throwing to tight ends, I'm gonna give him something that makes him more comfortable. Like I said, I want to, because I don't need wide receivers at all. But if I was, or I take that back, or Marvin Harrison Jr. if he's there at 13. Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think you might. To be honest with you, I think.
If they're there at 13, that's what I'm saying. At 13,
yeah.
Because like I said, if we don't trade back or we're not able to trade up, it's gonna be hard. Like it's gonna be hard trying to get something for that pick.
I don't think. See, and that's where the draft gets interesting because everybody has different perspectives, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. But it's like, I don't think those are needs.
Yeah, but it is a need because you need with the weight, and this is why a lot of podcasters don't get it. Is the NFL is changing, and you have to conform to what they want. And if you don't, you're going to get left behind. And honestly, you need that dynamic tight end. You need it to win in this game. It's essential in every high-powered offense. They have an amazing tight end. The teams that win, outside of what I think Tampa Bay, had great tight ends, exceptional tight ends. The teams that got to look at all the teams that were in the conference championship game. Look at their tight ends. Look at all the good teams that were contesting. They all have good to great tight ends. They cause matchup issues. That's why Ayuku was able to get open so many times because they like, all right, who are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on Kittle, or are we going to focus on him? Or are we going to focus on Debo? And then it helps out your whole offense. That's what allows mismatches. Now, granted, you're going to need an offensive coordinator who knows how to utilize his talent. You're going to need a team that knows how to utilize their skill. You're going to need guys who, and he's not a me guy. He's not a diva, as what people were just saying about Russell Wilson was. He's not none of that. He's performed every year at a high-powered team. He's proven in big games. He doesn't fade away in big games. Like it's like for me, he's can't miss. I think he's one of can't miss. So if I see him there, I'm getting him. Because he, like, for me, when I look at the talent and I've observed it, he's the only guy that can't miss. That's why I like him so high, and I would take a chance because I see him. He's the only guy that I can say, yeah, Hall of Famer. You could say he checks off every book for Hall of Famer. And you definitely want to draft a Hall of Famer. I don't care if I have a kid who's good and I don't want serviceable. To win, you need more than serviceable. Mayer is serviceable. Mayer has potential. Good. If I could bring someone who's better, then I'm bringing somebody who's better. And if I can keep him and not have to bring in guys who I'm really not going to use anyway, that I only brought in for a 1-year contract, and that was from the old regime. They weren't even really that good, and they were hurt too. I'd rather go with I'd rather draft him and have Mayer there. That's just me.
Sorry about that. Hey, Raider Squid, good to see you, my guy. Blessings to you, man. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Hey, if you're available, the link is right there. Go ahead and pull up. So it would be nice to have Raider Squid on the show, but I don't know what your schedule is.
Tell him to pull up. Come in, man. Come swap me out. What's up? What's up, Ralph? I see you. I finally opened up the chat. Pull up, man. Somebody get you off here. Me and Twuan could talk all day. He was supposed to only be 2 hours. He's at 2:30.
Yeah, man. I gave y'all an extra hour after I said I'm about to give y'all an hour. But it's all good. We having a good conversation here. We talking about draft. We talking about quarterback. I gave a scenario. I'm not saying that's exactly what I want or whatever. I'm not pounding the table for it, but I see something in regards to quarterback, an option at quarterback to fill out the quarterback room. You know what I'm saying?
I like him to fill out the room as honestly the quarterback coach. I honestly personally don't want him to dress up.
He is, because
of course he's gonna have to, but I just want him there to everything he has in his mind to put into that room. Because even if we bring in another quarterback, I got no problem with us bringing in another quarterback.
Hey, all love, Raider Squid. I'm glad that you came by. Thanks for blessing the channel with your comments and all of that. If you can, please make sure. I know you're subscribed, but go ahead and click the like button. Go ahead and click the like button for me if you can. That would be a blessing to this channel. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But let them know there'll be more of this. I'm around more. You know, health is in good standings with the family. So I'll be putting more time into it.
Yeah,
trying to invest a little bit more time this off season, debating with you a little bit more.
Yeah, I just realized I have actually a little more time on my hands moving forward. So we'll see how things go. We'll see how things go.
It's gonna take Bowers. I hope they don't take Bowers, because that's gonna be a problem, man. I can't look. Tight ends with San Diego. I mean the Chargers that's another thing I hate to see. The tight ends for the Chargers always seem to kill us, and I don't want to see another Antonio Gates like type guy.
Yeah, you know, and that's not and I hate to have that mentality of, oh, I'm fearful that somebody's going to draft from somebody else. It's like I think the ebbs and flows of the combine too. I mean not the combine, but the ebbs and flows of the draft. I think a lot of these teams they kind of draft towards need more than anything else. So that's where you have to kind of look at a team and say, what is their glaring need? And that's why I feel like, again, taking care of this offensive line now for years to come, I think is the way to go. I think that a lot of guys that I think a lot of the guys that are coming out the draft, at offensive line, you can plug them in, year one, and they'll get the job done. I'm not saying they're going to be all pros, but they'll be, they'll be good. I think because like when you start looking at some of the guys, like even when you talk about the Chargers, they had was it Penix Sewell or whatever, they drafted high, and he's been he's been I don't want to call it bookend, but he's been a mainstay on that line, barring injury. So I just feel like when you do that, I'm not saying, drafting a 6th round, tackle is going to be a starter and he's going to be that there's a possibility there. But if you draft high, like some of these higher guys, like I said, if we take that offensive tackle in the 1st round, I think he'll be here for years to come. You know what I'm saying? And get better. Kind of like Colton Miller. He might have a little, you know what I'm saying, second year, or he might take his bumps the first year, and then the second, third, fourth year, we ain't got to worry too much about him. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and I agree with you, because like what you're saying is being reactionary. I don't want us to be like reaction to other teams. I want us to be proactive. I want us to be aggressive. So if we're aggressive when we go after offensive linemen, be more aggressive. If you're gonna build through the draft, man, trade up again. If you see your guy, this is our chance to be aggressive. I will not be mad at what we do unless we draft terrible and get any quarterback not named Williams, Penix. I can even swallow getting Daniels. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't want it. But if it's not those three, because those are the only three quarterbacks that really can play in the NFL, personally, I think, outside of guys that you can get in the third or fourth round. Like the top tier guys, those are the only three that really will play.
I think when it's all said and done, I think as much as I like Daniels, I think when it's all said and done and we kind of look at this like years later, I think Drake May's probably going to be the better quarterback out of this draft.
Hell no. Hell no. He's going to be Luke Wilson. He's going to be Luke Wilson. He's going to be Paxton Lynch. He's like that one guy that they always talk up in the draft. No offense. He's that guy. He's terrible. He's not an NFL quarterback. He has an NFL arm, but he's not an NFL talent. He's a bench guy. He's going to be Brian Hoyer. He'll be in the NFL like 4 or 5 or 6 years, but a guy who's going to take his team and contend? Hell no. Hell no. Who's the kid at Tennessee now? Who's the kid there? Levitt? Yeah, he's going to be Levitt's. Talk of the town, all good glitz and glam. He's not a quarterback. He's not a franchise guy. There's always guys they like to try and talk up. I'm being honest, this is a weak quarterback class. For the top tier talent, it's weak. Like, honestly, the kid from Tennessee is going to be good. He's going to be better than him. Johnny Milton, he's going to be better. But is someone really going to give him a chance or a shot? Like, honestly, he has a very, very probably the best arm in the draft. But where they got him ranked at and how they talk about him, he's like a third round guy. So if we get him, I wouldn't be mind having him in the locker room. Him there with Russell Wilson, and he's a mobile quarterback. And he's very, very, very talented, very, very outspoken, speaks well, will be good tutor under AP, listens, he reciprocates the information that's given to him. I wouldn't mind that. But like I said, if I'm get a quarterback who's going to really change my franchise, there's 2 in this draft. Everybody else, you're hoping and wishing they're something.
Shout out to the 20 in the chat. Make sure you guys hit the like button.
You fucking cold.
You mean look in the camera, do it? Hey, you guys go ahead and hit them likes. Why? Because I like you. All right, you clip that one right.
Yeah, that was disgusting. That was not. That man who was on camera is disgusting.
What'd you say?
I said that man looks terrible.
Which one?
Was it Luke?
Fucking cold.
You mean look in the camera, do it? Hey, you guys go ahead and hit them likes. Why? Because I like you. All right, you clip that one right.
Hey man, I'm gonna be on Loon's head this whole off season.
Hey, he had me dying.
Because I like you.
Because No, because
So you,
that's my saying. You know what I'm saying? I always say hit the like button. Why? Because I like you, right? So
Mhm.
he did it on.
Oh, he was mocking you. Okay.
He was mocking me on the Dirty Lunatic show, and then I put it in the chat. I was like, "Hey, I'm about to clip you," and he's all, "Okay, go ahead." And that's when he did it. That's why I was like, "Yeah, let me go to clip that, and I got to put that on my show." So yeah,
I'm about
make
to
sure you
have,
hit the like button. Why? Because I like you.
because I like you. Now you gotta do it like him now. Because I like you.
Nah, I ain't. Nah, I do it my way. You know what I'm saying? You try. He do it his way. I do it my way on that one.
Okay. Okay. So here's a scenario.
Okay.
What if the Raiders trade back to get a draft pick for next year? How do you feel?
I'm fine. Especially if you're trade. Look, hey, look. You trade back, and you still get your guy, and you get some more bullets. I'm fine with that. Like as much as and I do the mock drafts. I do the mock drafts when I'm on my own time, just kind of looking at how things flow, right? And like every time they ask me for a draft pick for next year, I don't saying I deny it, or I'll try to get something for this year. But in reality, like if I can still like say they want they want to move up, right? But they give me a extra third for next year, I'm taking it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'll take it. Like, and I said, but it all boils down to: are you trading back and still getting your guy? Because,
Well, I mean, if we trade back, I mean, we talking about this year or next year? If they trade back,
yeah, they can trade back this year.
well, there's no guarantee they'll get their guy. They're just trading back.
No, and that's the risk. But if you can still, you know what I'm saying, hindsight, finagle that and still, like, say, for an example, right? First round, I might want Jackson Powers, right? But I could tell, and I'm at 13, but I think I can get Jackson Powers the way things are looking, and the way the players that are ahead of me. It looks like I could trade back to 17 and still get Jackson Powers. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a team that says, hey, I need to go hurry up and go get the guy that I want at 13. Let's switch 16, and then I'll give you a third. And I don't know the exact equal amount, but I'm just saying for figurative, I'll give you that third next year. You get 17, and I'll give you the third next year. I'm taking it. Because that I can flip that for either a draft pick, or I can flip that for who's that trade I want to do. Mind you, I'll say it like this. Mind you, and I'm not saying we want specifically him, but D-Hop went for a third round pick not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a guy,
yeah, but that was because
market, you could flip that trade and still have a third round pick. You know what I'm saying? Because you have that extra third to finagle. So yeah, I would trade back.
Well, there are teams that are just trying to dump people, and they're trying to dump them, and then the reputation, people are saying, he lost his stat, but no, he kind of did the James Harden shit, had the fat suit on and everything. That's what D.I. was trying to just get out of Arizona, man. He wanted out. A lot of people want out of here, man, of Arizona. So, but I can understand, just getting a third because they wanted him gone. He was a problem.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, there's going to be players that you can get.
But who's like that right now, though? But who is like that right now that would improve our team that we would want?
I don't know. What I'm saying. It just depends when that time is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to happen until next year, like close to next year. where you start seeing trades for guys. You know what I'm saying, after the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So you're holding on to that third and saying, hey, I could trade with this third, or I could use this third in the next year's draft. And now I got 2 thirds, and we know what third round picks typically are supposed to mean. You get a starter. So that means you're adding another starter in the draft. Or, you know, the other trade is you combine that with something to move up in the draft and turn that, you know, third into a high second or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things you can play with in the next draft, having a pick that technically really isn't yours. Or, you know, it is yours, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. No, got you. So, I mean, yeah, I think there's only one thing I don't like. I'm still debating with myself as well, because it's gonna be frustrating. Like, okay, I'm not gonna say what I'll say it on mine, but for what I want the Raiders to do, I don't see them doing it. But even if they do the opposite, I won't be mad. I'm being more positive. Look, see, I'm being positive this all season. Everyone says I did give Josh McDaniels a chance. I was like, you know what? There's just like I did with Trump. You know what I'm saying? Dave Chappelle did the same thing with Trump. I did it with Josh McDaniels. I'm gonna do it a little Getsy. He just has a very, very short leash for me.
Who?
The same leash that I gave Josh McDaniels, he has. Because personally, I know everyone always tries to talk up, well, he did this. This guy did not call any plays when he was with Green Bay. He's what we call a community coach. He comes from
You talking about Getsy?
Yes.
Okay.
He didn't tutor or improve Aaron Rodgers in any way. Like, he gets credit for things he didn't do. Everything in Green Bay had nothing to do with him. There were guys already in place. In fact, he got out-hired by Edgar Bennett. Edgar Bennett went from playing in NFL to get hired over him. And that's why he went to freaking Mississippi State. A guy went from playing on the field to getting hired because they liked him better than him as an offensive coordinator. The guy, he's kind of similar to what you said with Sean Payton, as he didn't want to conform his offense to the player. He wants to do things his way. And honestly, I'm not big on Justin Fields, but I'll give Justin Fields credit. Justin Fields saved that guy's ass a lot of the times. Justin Fields saved his ass and made him look good when he was terrible, and put Justin Fields in terrible positions. And he was remember, this guy thought, we all know who we drafted Alex Leatherwood, right?
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he say he wanted Alex Leatherwood? This guy wanted Alex Leatherwood after playing with us. And put Alex Leatherwood on the field. That's why I was like, and that's what I was going to tell Dirty on his show.
I see that, but then I also feel like a lot of teams do that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's a guy that was drafted in the first round, they always, you know what I'm saying? A team may say, oh, that first round pick didn't work over there, but he could work over here. And I'm not saying that, and they may have not viewed him as a first round pick either, but they felt like, okay, maybe they could do something with him. And
yeah, but and that tells me their evaluation process is terrible. That's terrible.
I'm not
That's
saying I
why
agree with it. I'm just saying
yeah,
that's possibly what happened. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and if and we both know if you do that, you shouldn't have a job because you're terrible. You make guys look bad as look worse than what they are. Like Justin Field isn't as bad as he was portrayed under that offense. No, Luke Getsy is. The same way Josh McDaniels taking over our team. Our team we had wasn't that bad. You've seen it in the course of the season, but it was terrible under a guy who has no idea what the fuck he's doing or what idea how to assess talent and put on the better players who are more talented. That's my issue. So like when I was saying we rushed that whole hiring process, that's what I was saying. I was like, bro, like you ain't look what this guy did. Like I'm not doing the possibility of what he can possibly do or what he bring. No, I saw what he brought in and what he did and what he had and the talent he had around him. So, and even with that, I still want Justin Fields as my quarterback here.
Yeah.
So, but that's what that was.
I just feel like whoever and that's why I'm kind of glad that we, to help you out, JT. I think in regards to Getsy, as much as you're saying you have a short leash on him, I think he has a short leash on him because his head coach has a short leash. I think all the coaches have a short leash. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, I think there's a pressure for them to succeed.
True, and then you press.
Coach AP's not going to. He's not. Of course, we like him, and we think that he may be here for a while. But I think he already knows that he's already said it. That I ain't got time. You know what I'm saying, to fool around and try to figure things out. I need to have things need to be trending. I'm not saying we need to go to the Super Bowl tomorrow, but we need to be making our way to the Super Bowl. And that's where AP is about. So if AP believes, and this is where I'm at, JT, on it, is if AP believes that Luke Getsy is that guy to take us upwards, I gotta be for it. I gotta be.
It's gonna be a long hill to die.
And I'm not saying, and I agree with everybody that is not for Getsy. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the fact that he's not the super sexy pick either. You know what I'm saying, for offensive coordinator. But again, if AP knowing that he's on a short leash is okay with this guy coming in to run the offense, he must know something that all of us have, all of us don't know.
Or is doing something that he's told.
I don't
because somebody else wants to.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think, because who else would be telling him to get Getsy if, you know what I'm saying, the only person that has like real complete power over him is Mark Davis. And I don't think Mark Davis is telling him to, who to get. Because if it was left up to him, he'd be trying to figure out what Gruden's doing.
Yeah, so that's my thing was, okay, you went after your guy. Like Kingsbury was the guy that they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you didn't get him, all right, he wasn't our guy, but then go reevaluate everything. Don't rush into something and just make a decision. Because that's typically, when you don't, everybody knows, don't get the rebound girl. It's the rebound. It's the rebound. You know what you do with the rebound? You hit it and quit it. So if we're saying, and I love AP, I appreciate that we went and got him, but don't fuck yourself out of a job because you just trying to get something in there. You had time. There was nothing going on. There was no signing period. You could have reevaluated and really, even if he is the guy, You still would have got him.
Mm.
But as soon as that happened, you gonna offer it to me immediately? Hey, you know what? Hey, Cliff, what's going on, bro? Why don't you want the job? You know you could have talked to him again. But to do no other interviews and just offer it to this, nah. So that's why I was like, damn. Like, I know I'm on a limited time and I'm gonna get someone who's considered a bum as an offensive coordinator. Like, hey, APU was real good this offseason, but I gotta quit. That's, you make some good moves. When you were forced to, trying to make a meal out of, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, you did a really good job. But now that you got $1, you know what I'm saying? I know you know how to stretch your money, but damn, you didn't stretch nothing. I feel like you trying to be cheap. I think out of everything, that was the worst hire. The worst move that they've made under his under his leadership. I think that was the worst decision so far. But that's a bad decision. Because remember, offense is very important. It's very important in the NFL. This is what gets you fired. As a head coach, offensive coordinators typically get you fired faster than a defensive coordinator does. And if you ain't got that much time, you better hit your offensive coordinator position out the park. So that's my only worry. But damn, that is a big worry, man. Because if Getsy fails in, is he gonna be able to, like, okay, let's say we regress. How far can he regress before we like, yo, you ain't the guy? Because if he's on dial time, that means he can get fired after a year.
I think
how much? What's the curve? What's the curve before we be like, you ain't the guy? Because we won how many games we won this year?
8.
We won 8, right? What if he comes in and only gets us? What if we get 6 or 5?
That ain't gonna work.
That's my thing. How many wins did the Bears have?
I don't know.
I think what? Maybe 6, 7? And if you look bad doing it, I don't want to see AP go through that. Because I already know what's going to happen if that happens. Because especially after how he took the same team and made them that much better, cool, okay. Let's work on that. Let's build upon that. And I think he did it, but like the most important hire he had this season, I personally think they blew it. Not just him, I think the whole organization blew it. I think the whole organization panicked when Cliff, reneged on it. Mm. Everyone in the organization panicked and they rushed it. I'm like, yo, we the Raiders, man. Okay, cool. You don't want it? Then okay. I can't wait till we play you because I'm going to make sure we do everything we can to get you fired. It would have been a revenge game for me once we played Kingsbury again. But for us just to rush it and then not even get the best guy, like if he would have got the best offensive coordinator, I understand. But to get that tier of a coordinator, I can't be happy with that. I can't accept that. Not when we're trying to play to win Super Bowls. Nah. Y'all can accept. Like I said, y'all gonna have to accept that, not me. I look, commitment to excellence. Is that commitment to excellence? And that's the only thing that I've disliked during this period of time under AP. I honestly would have debated if I would have brought Bo Hargreaves back over this guy. I had to have that conversation. I was like, is he that much of an upgrade over Bo?
well, you know me. I think about the possibilities, and I think he's going to have the opportunity to establish this offensive line the way that he wants it. Under you know what I'm saying, we have Craig here too on the offensive line coach, and whoever the quarterback is, he's going to have a say in who that is. So
no, I don't think so. No, he don't. Who
the offensive coordinator is not going to have say on the quarterback?
Oh, the quarterback. I thought you were saying the quarterback shit. I was thinking something else. Sorry. My apologies.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
I'm still in that rant.
No. I'm just saying that I feel like the pieces that's gonna fit what he wants in his offense, he's gonna be able to mold that. Whether bringing that guy in or teaching him how to run the offense.
Yeah, but what is he gonna bring in? All his key guys are there already. He got his wide receivers.
I'm talking about as at quarterback. We're not talking about the wide receivers and tight ends. We already know that's pretty much set. I'm talking about he's gonna have a say on the main piece that he's gonna need in his offense is that quarterback.
Yeah, but and that's the problem. What quarterback has he developed? What quarterback has this guy developed?
He's worked with a bunch of them.
And guess what? Instead of the quarterbacks leaving, he had to leave. Why? And the quarterbacks got better after he left. And I'll give him some leeway because it sucks because he's been under. Who he came under is a really good coach, right? The tree he's from. So he's always going to have a job because that guy is well respected in the NFL and in college. So he's always had a job. But this guy has never proven himself. Never. Now, sometimes he didn't. I will say, I don't know how fair of a shot he got in Green Bay. I'll be honest. I don't think he got a fair shot. But he did in Chicago. He did in Chicago. And I saw what he did with them quarterbacks in Chicago. They don't look better than they did in college. They don't. And then after Justin Fields, who was the rookie that beat us, right? Who was the rookie that beat us? The game he coached against us where Chicago beat us, that rookie quarterback.
What quarterback was that?
The Chicago backup who he filled in for
Tyler Badgett.
Yeah, Badgett, right? How did Badgett end up? I said he's gonna be good for 2 or 3 games because there's no tape, and he was terrible after that. Terrible. He might not get another chance at being a quarterback in the NFL after how he looked. And the offense didn't change. The offense didn't conform to Badgett's skill set. No, he literally was running the same things he was calling for Justin Fields. He can't run that with the player base we have now. And if he's going to do that with Jaden Daniels, I don't want to see Daniels doing that. I don't want to see Caleb Williams doing that. I don't want to see Penix doing that. Everyone else can't do it. It's just I think it's just a bad situation. But I am going to see what it, let's see what comes of it. We'll see what the draft holds. We'll see what the draft brings. We'll see how we draft. I'm looking forward to the draft. I'm excited about the draft. There's only 2 picks at 13 that can really piss me off this draft. And I honestly don't see us drafting it. So I'm actually really excited because I honestly think whatever we draft really will improve the team. But there are some things that I want to see of can't miss guys. Like, yeah, we can't miss on these guys. If they're available and they're there, take it. Like, they're can't miss. If Bauer is there, take it, man. Take him there. I'm telling you, that guy is can't miss. If somehow Caleb Wilson falls because there's some BS going around right now, if he's there at 13, you better take him. You better take him. I know what people at SC are saying. Nah, they tripping. They're tripping. This guy is that damn good, man. He's that damn good. And the reason why I think he looks so lackadaisical because it was so easy for him in college. But yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm at like 2% right now, so if I fall off, it's just my phone died. But man, it was fun. Thank you I think it's the first time I'm on the show, so it's been fun. I appreciate it. Man, hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember what you're saying is, but hit that like button, subscribe. I'll be on more. Twuan will be on my show because I'm definitely going to be debating against him. He has some takes I don't like, but like I said, this is the fun part of it. So yeah, man, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm at 1%. Yeah, I'm dying right now, man. I'm out of here.
All right. Definitely check out Up for Review if you guys have not. Go ahead and check him out. He obviously he has his views, so definitely you can have your discussion in regards to that. Hey, you guys, we've been live for 3 hours, so if you have not hit that like button, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that like button. All right, and quit playing with yourself. Go ahead and subscribe. Join the congregation. All right, join the best chat that YouTube has to offer. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. John Leon, SoCal Sal is in the building. Good to see you guys. I'm trying to read your comments while trying to give you guys a shout out, so that's why I'm like, Gord, good to see you. Who did I not shout out while we were talking? I know I was kind of giving you guys the Greg Atkins. I gave, yeah. Nutty Raider is in the building. Nutty Raider Nate. I think SoCal said I think Bowers is gone before. I think, because I started and you probably been doing some of the mock drafts too, like looking at that, and that, mind you, I'll say this in regards to the mock drafts, it kind of gives you a time, kind of a possibility of where people fall, but that live draft is a whole different monster. You'll see some guys is like, I can't believe this guy is falling from out of the first round into the possible third round. Like, there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. So we'll see if where that lands. Wild Turkey, shout out to Wild Turkey in the building. Good to see you, John Leon and Wild Turkey. All right. Hey, you guys, I'm about to wrap this thing up. I want you guys to make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Okay. I'm going to say it on my way. Make sure you guys subscribe, because what we're doing over here at Raider Twuan, if Raider Twuan, the channel, okay, I'm not talking about me, but I'm talking about the channel. If Raider Twuan gets to 500 subscribers, a lucky subscriber will be winning a pair of black Air Forces. Okay, so if you get Raider Twuan to 500 subscribers by week 1, okay, by week 1, a lucky subscriber will get a pair of black Air Forces. So you do not want to miss that. And again, make sure you subscribe. So, and if you want to help me get to that goal, go ahead and share this out, to your all your platforms or whatever, and promote this little old channel called Raider Twuan. Okay. If you need prayer for you or your family members, hit me up on IG at Twuan, Twuan. Again, your business between me, you, and the Lord. I don't put your business out there in the street. You ain't got to worry about me telling your baby mama what's going on. Just hit me up on IG and let me know what's going on so I can be in prayer for whatever's going on in your life. Be an organ donor, okay? I forgot to pay the bills earlier, but I'm paying the bills now. Please be an organ donor. And the link is always in the description of all my videos and all my lives. So if you definitely do not want to miss that. So get that information and be an organ donor. Okay? You guys got that? Y'all good? Y'all good? Y'all good? All right. So let me say this. Make sure you hit the like button. Why?
You fucking cold.
Let me look in the camera to it. Hey, you guys go ahead and hit them likes. Why? Because I like you. All right, you clip that one right.
All right. And subscribe. Quit playing with yourself. Go ahead and subscribe if you like the Raiders. All right. Or you just like the conversation. Okay. Definitely. You guys, you're a blessing. Be a blessing to someone else. And let's go, Raiders.
What up, low?
most of all, winning football games. Today is a day when our heroes of the past become our legends of the future. Time never really stops for the great ones. We wrap them in a cloak of immortality and remember what great people they were. We recognize you, Virginia Madden, his sons Mike and Joey. They were a football family, so that John could pursue his dreams. To Raider Twuan, in a tribute to John Madden and Al Jacobs, who declared that the fire that burns the brightest in the Raiders organization is the will to win. Ladies and gentlemen, the Madden family.